realizing he's not getting it. Still refused to give it away. You said they were passengers in this game. And so far yet to make a move on this CT side. Been very reactive. But not enough kills in their positions to actually contend for any of these rounds. Can NAVI make a difference now? Bit on a B bomb site, but on his own as Falcons group in the tunnels.
That reblock is annoying, to say the very least. Gonna try and couple it up with the lurk smoke to give yourself the room to go through here. Carrigan just making noise out towards middle, trying to draw attention away from the tunnels. NAVI worried about the backstab, but Bit is not even thinking about it. Eyes front, looks at the tunnels and chews through this Falcons hit. Honesty baited out into the open so Bit can feast.
And that's what NAVI have been waiting for. One of these rifles to rock your world and put you on the board. A chance to fight back. Falcons have been suppressing them with util all half, but now Bit gets the chance. Backside, dodges the flash, perfect lineup, and it just falls into his lap. Excellent route out of Bit. NAVI get on the board, they do it flawless as well. Perfect way to start off this CT side, to get back in this game despite a slow start. They didn't start wonderful B this time. That's over everyone else. Bit with spawn down long. Honesty holds for middle. Kaze considering, but not overstepping yet.
Oh, Nico 5 kill. Kisuki 6.
Wonderful. Really wants that dry fight, but he's not going to get it. It's NAVI pushing up on the catwalk at the same time. Ema goes through the smoke. He passes it by. Shot in the back. Bomb dropped. Another man made it through. Carrigan responds. Honesty moves in. Bit holds his position strong. 2 versus 4 for Falcons, but there's always a chance with Honesty alive. Not for long. Carrigan in a 1v4. A world of hurt, and Alexi B makes it so. So NAVI keep him coming. Back to back and clean at that. Solid rifle round. Calls the pause for Zonic. Love to see NAVI still making the aggressive move, not shrinking back into very safe setups. They were dedicated 4 strong on A, so even coming through that smoke at a perfect time to rip the round away from Falcons.
ايوه هيك لا تضيع. والله ميكازي بخوف. زين يعني انه لعيب. بعدين على التايم اوت حكينا ايش بدنا نشيل الصوت. عملوا لي على الفيديو اللي قبل
Hoping the orb can provide a solution. Nothing being offered. As has been the case in a bunch of these rounds. Forcing Falcons to make the first move. They do get deep on the catwalk.
أهلين بالسيد محمود. اسمع اليوم فالكون نار. نار كتير يعني بس نافي والله صعبين.
Util in. Falcons do want to try and make a play for this short control, but 3 bodies waiting on the other side. Carrigan does what he can, it softens up. Alexi in that clash. Still, you've hemorrhaged a lot of players here. Catch for Tesses, and now they set their sights on getting past this wonderful orb. Can't afford to miss. What if he's never given the chance to shoot? Tesses blindsides him out through long, and this is happening now. Falcons have room.
محمود إذا سمعني ابعت ال
Running up a 2v4. Honestly gets out of the danger zone. Molly lands, but too late. NAVI creep closer. m0NESY still needs to watch this ramp. Tessas can't really stop a wide swing. Bit coming in, but m0NESY takes another headshot here for the Falcons. It's only Bit. Element of surprise is all he has, and that disappears in an instant. He can't connect it. m0NESY and Tessas piece together a very difficult round in the 2v4. Banging shots out of Tessas, catching wonderful, lacks it.
امبارح الفيديو اللي نزلته اول امبارح على لما يعملوا تايم اوت زي هيك محمود، ونزلته على اليوتيوب، عمل لي كوبي رايت لاني انا مستخدم اغاني لها حقوق بث. شو اليوم بدك تيجي؟
Wonderful, slumped over at the end of that round. Knows he gave it away.
Double orb.
حلو دبل اوب. طلع محمود بس يلعبوا دبل اوب بتكون مسكره معهم.
Wonderful, looking for this short fight. Oh my god!
مش طبيعي.
Insane sequence. Kyosuke and Nico side by side, charging up the catwalk. NAVI never had a chance.
Brutal, absolutely brutal out of Falcons. The firepower, and it wins a round in a second.
محمود شفت؟
One jiggle on Wonderful. That's all it took, and Kyosuke takes his head off. Him and Nico side by side confirm this round, and NAVI are just trying to survive. It won't be easy. Gonna have to fight for these guns. Carrigan, inspired by his team, with a clean kill, and Bit back to spawn, but he'll meet them there.
شو بلعبك انت بوب؟
Falcons looking ferocious.
طلع محمود طلع الإعادة هلا شامل.
Just more and more good stuff for Kyosuke. I think that's such a huge boost to the confidence of the Falcons. Nico and m0NESY have been the duo for this squad. This guy's been a little quiet, especially by the standards he set for himself. And so the idea he could give you his best series of the major yet is a very enticing prospect.
In a head-to-head. The NAVI won last time. Even on this very map. New looking Falcons. With some recent success. All in all, Astana went very well.
طلع السموك ما تيسو. كيسوكي هذا 17 سنة أصغر من دونك. صاحب دونك
أصلاً. I think it's one of those things, you know, like with the timing of the change. I know usually when you kind of swap out an IGL, you think you want to give a team some time. When you make the change on the timing the Falcons did, you don't really have that to fall back on. You did this with the goal of making an impression at this major. And that's how you have to interpret it. Wonderful. Finally gets to fire a shot off on this AWP, and it will connect. Buys himself a bit more time with that smoke as well. Tessa's going to try and close in to deal with him, but he's got riflers in the sight, meant to provide cover.
Ooh, Tessa's cheeky.
They didn't see this. No one saw this. That's a free kill. Why not make it the double? NAVI not out of the woods yet, in spite of all these openings, because Tessa's is ripping heads off. And everyone's taking turns right now, having their time in the limelight for the Falcons. Job's not done, but they're going to start to pinch a bit here. Don't get me wrong, he's been fantastic, but everyone's got limits. He's got two players either side of him. And here's that trade from Nico out through short. Tessas with a monstrous 4K. And a T-half that is swollen out of control in this series. 8-2 lead, chance to sweeten the deal now.
Yeah. I mean, these rounds are coming down. how fast these entries are coming in, even though NAVI keep getting advantages. That was a 5v3 for NAVI off the rip. Wonderful hitting a shot, but that smoke down, put on top of the Molotov, is perfectly abused by Tesses. It's something NAVI don't even consider.
لعيب أليكس.
A bit of chaos breaks the calculation. Wonderful timing, fought off completely. Kiyasuki steps. He doesn't chase that kill down. If he did, maybe a 5v4 again for Falcons, but wonderful given a chance to survive.
Liking this reaction right now from Navi. Bit and Mikazi are getting a little tired of being left out of these rounds over towards B. And so aggression in the mid-round, and Tesses is holding for it. Ima reclaims one. And so Navi at least stem the bleeding, keep this even.
They just want to jump though. They've taken one or two B players out. They know the AWP was A. This is a perfect chance to just storm on that B bomb site. Ima feeling like he has to come through. There is no flash to do so. He is waiting. Waiting for any bit of info that Falcons give him. Oh, tense round here. And as he reloads, Nico takes that space. Is the bomb really going to go A?
They're walking the CT smoke. They're splitting on this. Carrigan deals with wonderful, and now Ima's pincered. Monacy coming through for the backstab. AWP might not be the job, but up close, no problem for Monacy.
See, I can't even blame Navi for falling for this one. Monacy's going to hunt them down. It's the last thing you would expect. It is the last thing Falcons should do, commit into that A bomb site. They know the stack is on A. They know that there's a solo B player. Navi know that Falcons know. That's why they're hedging their bets so hard that Falcons will not walk out cat. It's not just Ima back in spawn. It's another player coming to join him. And Falcons just pounce out catwalk dry. They know Navi are going to play the numbers, and they use them against them. Unorthodox here on this T side, and explosive. This is a dominant half, and it is disappearing quickly.
Mikazi, little wide on that AWP. Monacy with this spot, tried to make it fancy, ends up getting shot in the face. Bit reclaiming this advantage, and now the full scramble out towards B. Again, you're left looking at Tesses. Asking what more can he deliver. 11 and 4 has a lot of space out towards long.
And that missed molly from Nico, that's really thrown this round through a loop. They would have had the B site locked down with Carrigan with more util, but instead they have to mid-round. Tesses has won some ridiculous moments already in this game of Dust 2.
Two players holding him on the cross. This is not a comfortable nor easy fight for Tesses, and they just tap him down from afar. Navi and their hunt for scraps at the end of this half might offer up one more round, but it really is not a lot to hold on to here for Navi. It's still Falcons' dominance where all this.
والله فالكون اليوم نار. وندرفول اليوم مش يومك حبيبي. صراحة مبدعين، بس إن شاء الله يكملوا. تسعة الدست على نافي، والله نار. خليه بدون صوت احسن.
Most overlooked player in the
خلاص.
The spot. Tessez casting has been a dom.
2v4s, we've had 3v5s, we've had 4v5s out of Falcons. They've won every disadvantage they've needed to. And all while NAVI just keep getting caught off guard. And NAVI tried to play tight in that CT side, but they just get snapped. Falcons look for a pistol that might just seal the deal. We've seen so many comebacks in this major so far from this score, and so you can never count it out. But Falcons looking to secure this simply, get a 5v4 and get out.
So you're going to be in position in CT with these dual Berettas. Flash out of Tessez. Decides not to pounce on the back of it. On the spam. CS2 now getting split on there on both sides of him, and those dualies can't find a kill. There's been big damage dealt the way of NAVI. And so even in this 3-on-3, you're not comfortable. Wonderful, the only guy with health, roams down in middle. And it looks like Hema wants to come and join him. He's playing for a very late backstab. Knows he can't give away this kill. Otherwise, it's low health for the remaining two. Falcons come hunting, and they will remove him after that one. It's Kerrigan and m0NESY attempting this 2v2. Hema is a shot away from certain death. m0NESY beelines right for him. And so pistol round picked up. Falcons on Dust 2, over and done with.
This is Falcons embodying flow state right now. They are just running at NAVI. They are feeling perfect. Everything is lining up. Great dually shots from m0NESY through the smoke up into the doorway. And Falcons clear out the one man who felt like he could have won that round in Wonderful. Having the health, having the late backstab. Falcons do not let it find them. Excellent pistol round.
Nice clutch.
NAVI with a force are certainly going to buy up. Team player. Kerrigan's held his own in this game. He's also called a great T-side. Must be noted here with some of the disappearances of Kerrigan when it comes to his individual performance, especially in these second halves. But it doesn't feel like there's going to be much of a second half left here on this map as NAVI get eviscerated in lower. A 3v5 ensues. Nico headers the smoke.
I think zooming out, thinking big picture for NAVI too, right? Talking about Atlanta, talking about their victory over Vitality there, the idea that they lifted this trophy. The fact that you've had your Dust 2 get a little bit exposed in these games at the major and on the run-up to it, I think is a worrying sign. Oh. All right, Wonderful. It's a clean shot. Let's see if he's got any more.
Yeah, Kerrigan doesn't need to take this fight. There's a bit of fear that they've crossed already, but Kiyasuke doing a little flank. Will it be like Max? Yes, indeed. Alexi holds on. Patience pays off here for NAVI. They still have a lurker in lower, but are you really going to start rotating at 30 seconds?
It was a 5v3, but here's the rotate.
This is crazy from Falcons. This is maybe a bit too much. They are very scared of this second smoke. NAVI have one more. It can go down in middle. Bit might just use the element of surprise with his position. He's called the B's clear.
Catching Tessez on the fallback. And now the alarm bells are ringing for the Falcons. 5v3. They've done more than enough in this round on the back of that lower push.
Oh, no.
Now they just might give it all away. They charge the bomb plant. Kerrigan bails them out with that opening. Will he be able to respond? No! Versus m0NESY. Wow. Falcons were throwing that away.
They look like they have no respect left for NAVI. They full rotate out of the bomb site with absolutely no reason to. They get caught in mid with nades out. Falcons just run at NAVI. No respect, no hesitation, and no cover on that bomb plant. Missed chances from the scout will cost you, NAVI. That was your opportunity. A 3v5 pull back into a favorable post plant. m0NESY and Kerrigan run you down.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Can't play scared here. And Falcons are not.
I mean, all the usual pitfalls in a Falcons game haven't come through. They've dodged it every single time. You thought that 3v5 was happening, only to snatch it back. Conservative start to this round, no crazy aggression from the Falcons. They're leaving it to NAVI to make this first move.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about NAVI last round. Well, you might not have time. This is not their map. This is not their story right now. This is Falcons looking to just slam them out of the running in Dust 2. Save it for Mirage, because it could be coming up right after this rifle round. Falcons looking to clash again. 4 players here.
Fades. Carrigan facing first, but he's got all these rifles ready to back him up. Wonderful. Finished off with ease. And the 3 stars of the Falcons all chime in with a kill. Oops. A shot from the m0NESY Orb, sure, but he's given a chance to get out and now just go play around this bomb out on long.
Needed that kill. You will find it eventually. Maybe we're on with something here. Burst shots connecting headshots. And 2 low players for makazi. He knows he has a player trapped at long. Nico locks in. 2 Galils, 1 shot, all required to win this round, and Nico looks to put it together. makazi position revealed, but Nico's got the kill, and Falcons have got map point. A desperate surge here for NAVI to survive in Dust 2. Bearing no fruit. Falcons just throwing themselves round the corner, 4 players long side. NAVI just can't get a read on this game.
Oh, second nade to break that open. If m0NESY had hung around, that would have been an opening. Instead, it's short control taken very, very quickly for NAVI. Maybe going to look to give the Falcons a taste of their own medicine. They threw in a bunch of these fast A plays in reg. In that T side. m0NESY gets here in time. Orb delivers. Oh, and there's a second. m0NESY now, the highlight reels are rolling. Can he finish it? 4th kill eludes him, but he's done more than enough as the Falcons close in for a dominant victory. They want to try and seal the deal on a
throwing it away somehow. It just I'm sure Blade will have a lot to say outside to his players.
Yeah, it was very disconnected throughout the entire game. I don't think that NAVI ever really found their groove in this game. It was just every single time they seemed to be bouncing back, then someone would be throwing something at it, or the Falcons player just feeling the game, bringing in some very big individual plays, namely Tessis in one of the rounds. I think, you know, NAVI in this one, they never really showed up, right? They never really figured out how to approach it, and every single time that they had some information to work with, they seemingly lost it, and then they would just find themselves in some really poor situations, and you just don't really win those games off losing that information that early on.
Also, you know how it is, Peter, like when you're after you lose a 4v2 and then a 5v3 in 2 reset rounds, like just as a player, like you tell something is off, like something's going horribly wrong, and then your confidence is sort of tanking. Then you see the sort of plays that your opponents are making, like it's the complete opposite for them. Tons of confidence. I mean, that play from Tessis through the smoke around Car was just brilliant, right? And that play doesn't happen if they're not so ahead at that time.
But it also showed on the body language, right? You could see that multiple of NAVI players where you're like, hey, you know, heads in their hands, or they were like sinking down their chairs. They know that they messed up some of those rounds, but they never really recovered from that one.
Even with Falcons making that first map quick, still plenty of stuff coming up for us. Of course, Mirage is the second map in this series. Not before we dive into another new skit in the break as well. But of course, we got to break down this Dust 2. Let's dive into a couple of rounds you got for us, Shanko. Let's start off with round 8. What's this one?
Yeah, so Falcons up 5-0, lose 2 gun rounds in a row. This is their last buy, right? And I think here they're thinking, okay, they're just blocking this and not actually playing for short, so they force this short take even with the smoke being there. Well, they were wrong. There was 3 players from Navi waiting, so they lose out the fight. Kerrigan will get the 1 kill, and now it's a 2v4, and Tess is obviously understanding, all right, long is open, and here Alexi trying to go back. They maybe wanted to reset the setup and go back to long, but here, Wonderful, completely oblivious that he can get shot at, so just dies really in a foolish way, and then that's a 2v4, you know, converted from Tessis and Monacy, where if Navi wins this, Falcons have to eco. Now they've lost 4 rounds in a row, and perhaps this game takes a different course.
In the 2v2 situation, the kill that Monacy actually gets off Catwall onto Makas is actually the one that seems to be the most important, that one, because Makas actually had a smoke, and since he was planning for Plateau and Tetris found himself in pit, if Makas would have won that duel, then he would have smoked off the bomb, and then they would have lost that one, and that could have been their way back into the game. By losing a 2v4 in that fashion, it's not really the way you want to go.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to go about it. You're totally right. It wasn't the only moment that Tessis had a lot of impact in this one, though, right?
Yeah, no more rounds with advantages lost for Navi, right, guys? Right? Well, here's later on in the half. They, again, aggressive cat setup, find Kyosuke, Wonderful, gets Kerrigan on that long reaction from Falcons, and now, I mean, this was just a great play from Tessis, right? Deciding to push through the smoke, catches Wonderful, and Alexi is going to finish it off with a 1 more kill on Ima, just dismantles the A defense all on his own, ends it with the 4th kill on Makaze, and I mean, this is just incredible in individual play from Tessis, stepping up, and Navi again caught a little bit in between, right? Like they were playing for short, they gave it up. Now there's a reaction on long, and they're just not ready for this play from Tessis, who, you know, you see there like 12-7, nothing too crazy, but I mean, those 2 rounds are worth their weight in gold.
So impactful, right? I mean, it's a given that we kind of have Nico and Monacy showing up in this tournament, it feels like, but Tessis having a lot of impact there, Dupree.
Yeah, definitely. That was just a pure show of skill and also clever use of game mechanics, right? You know, he knows that if he edges out the smoke and goes behind the Molotov, then he can find himself a bit of a position where the Navi players are not going to expect him, and he gets 2 kills in a surprising way, and then even the 3rd one onto the side, you know. And Counter-Strike sometimes just comes down to the individual prowess, right? And that is what Tessis showed here, and he showed it twice now, that he can just bail them out of those situations. And, you know, this was not scripted. This was not, you know, anyone telling Tessis to do something specific. That was just a lot of pure intuition.
Yes.
And, you know, that also just requires some skill to be able to figure out in the given moment, what can I actually work with right here? And then what he did here was probably the only thing that could bounce them back.
You know how the old saying goes, though, Peter, there's always 2 sides to every story, right? There's the great side from Falcons, and then there's the not-so-great one from Navi, right?
Yep. That's what happens. I mean, I think for the likes of Navi in round 11 as well, you know, at this point, they just got to get some rounds at the time. You know, they lose long control, then they try to push tunnels at the get-go to try and get that very important information. But looking at Navi, they just seem so disconnected in this give situation. You can see that they don't have long control, so it actually forces Alexi to just run down long to check, because the B-split pressure is all. And then you see Wonderful with what I talked about coming into the game. He needs to hit that shot off Catwalk. And I think this round really speaks to both sides. And you can also just, the fact that Monacy walks through the smoke and catches the guy on the side. At this point, it just feels like a facing game, you know, just toying with them. But this round really speaks into that. Navi looked very disconnected, but at the same time, it also just shows what Falcons and what Kerrigan has brought to the table when it comes to these mid-rounding. It's like Kerrigan just loves to play around mini-fakes. This round specifically, he did 2 B-split smokes, and it just causes so much chaos inside the Navi camp, and it doesn't help Navi up until this point. Haven't found any success at all. They were not disconnected, they couldn't play off each other, and it was just, you know, very hard to see a team that we know can be so reliant on their team play having such a struggle figuring out what to do in these situations.
And this has happened for Navi, you know, a couple of times, even in their good runs, where they would like just struggle to maintain form over the course of a best of 3. Usually it's the other way around. They would like dominate on map 1, then map 2 sort of would be a no-show, but I think you'd be a fool to count them out just yet. Again, I am surprised by the Mirage pick. I was expecting Ancient, and I think that's a bit of a bigger weakness for Falcons at the moment. It's always tricky to pick maps that your opponents have picked as well.
Yes.
And especially for a team that hasn't had as many reps as Falcons have had, you know, that can backfire. But on the other side, everyone knows about Navi's Mirage at this point, right? It's been such a staple for them. There's nothing they cannot do on this map. So even if things start wrong again, like that's where they should be able to make the necessary adjustments.
It's just so funny, Peter, when you're saying, oh, it feels like a face-it game. Okay, we go from Dust 2 into Mirage, right? Like, how much more buggy can you get with this? What are you reading into Navi, though, and I hope that you can kind of bounce back from this one?
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to come down to what's being said in the halftime, right, or in the break now. And I don't think Blade's going to be very happy about his troops, and neither I'm thinking that Alexi is also going to be pretty upset with what they've been showing so far. I think it's, of course, this is Navi's bread and butter. That is where they have ironed out the majority of mistakes. It's a map that even in their slump they used to be going to pick, even if it wasn't Ancient. So it's a very familiar one, and it's the one that Alexi loves calling on the most on the T side as well. So I think it's not really out for Navi yet. The fashion they showed on Dust 2 worries me a little bit, and it also speaks a little bit to what they showed against Spirit, a team that's just a little bit disconnected, right? And this is not the time where you want it, and especially coming into the major, they looked so solid. They really seemed like a team that started to function once again, but so far so good. I mean, like it's been pretty rough for them, so they have to bounce back in this one. So there's not really much to say that they just have to do better than what they just showed.
How much can you say, though, between maps, Janko? If you Blade out there, how much can you be amping up these guys?
I mean, whatever triggers them, right? You need to use it. And also you're saying things like, we're going up to our map pick. It's our best map, you know, we're prepared, we know what to do here, and then after that it's a newbie. So you're still feeling confident about the remaining 2 maps, right? And you just focus a bit more on the CES. You asked me this before, sometimes it's easier to lose a map 13-3, right? Because you are just getting started. You can just say, guys, we threw that map. Like, look at the rounds that we lost. Even the second round in the second half, they should have won that, right? So there's no, you know, there's no way that happens to us again. We need to step up, but they do need to step up. We mentioned Wonderful in the pregame. His woes against Falcons continue, and there was a couple of important rounds where he was sort of the focal point and couldn't just get anything done for his team.
And then they have 2 really good maps coming up for them now. So, I mean, they definitely just have to go out and just forget about this one. There's nothing more to be said. Sure, they have to react to what happened, because if they carry on with that same kind of disconnect that they showed on those 2, then it's not going to get better, because they have to up their communication. They have to be more aware of each other. They need to be communicating more in terms of what they need to be doing, because they didn't get anything done on those 2.
Sounds like they've got an almost endless list of improvements, but it is time to be jumping into that second map, not before we head things to a short break. Hope may be on the horizon for Navi if they can indeed right their wrongs from that dismal display on Dust 2. It's Mirage coming your way, not before you skip Premiere. Stay tuned.
Bro, you're baiting every round talking about. I had so many trades. You're trading anything. You're miles away. I carried you. Tell me game. 1 round. Hold on. Let me pull up CS stats. Oh, wait. My bad.
You suck.
Settle your debates. Search your profile on CS Stats and turn on tracking to see all your games.
The dispatch is back and looking better than ever.
Oi! Get a move on, you know who we are!
This season, it's bigger deliveries.
It's alive, Hugo.
Bigger personalities.
Efficient way of working.
And bigger problems.
Trace!
Featuring special guests.
Alex, what the hell is happening?
And of course, the team you know and love.
Is this really necessary?
There it is! $100,000! I've had enough of you! Be careful what you wish for.
The Dispatch. The all-new season, premieres February.
The feeling was insane. I was very nervous, I was very stressed joining G2. When I was at home still and I was packing my suitcase, I'm not nervous, you know, like, but when you're close to arriving, yes, you're very nervous. Imagine you see Nikola Kovac in real life. But the most funniest guy was Jax, because he also didn't speak English. He spoke English, I'm joking, but he will understand. The most arguable person for me in the team was Nico, because he's gonna tell me to not pick here. I'm like, no way, I can, of course. He would explain me deeper and deeper further. To come to the point where I had to agree, we had to talk a bit.
He was the first kind of players of young generation that people started talking about as the next Simple, for example. I think he was one of the youngest players to join FPL, and I got to play against him and also with him, and I could see why people were saying it.
Fucking Monesti is Monesti us hard, bench.
If you ask anyone on the team right now, I think everyone was very surprised how mature he is. When you talk to him, how wise he is, and very respectful, and he had always good manners.
For me, joining Tier 1 organization, speaking English, international team, environment was so different compared to NAVI Junior. I had to relearn how to play this game as a team as well. My first big tournament was Katowice. It's the most memorable tournament that I had in my career.
This is a high-value target, and no stranger to being inside. He has had multiple stints and will not go willingly.
Wait, if you won't go willingly, why are we bringing him out?
I spent some time in jail. 2015. 2 long years before I made it out.
Hold up, give me some more info. What is this?
David Frozen Chenansky, our prime target.
Hold on. When you say target, what do you mean by that?
Don't you worry, my friend.
Nicola, you know it's just an expression, right? A meme. He's not actually in jail.
Not according to newly uncovered classified information. 9th of April, FaZe Clan signed up to Harris County Jail land in Texas.
What? These fuckers will do anything for a couple of VRS points.
By day, they farm the inmates. By night, they're held in their cells.
Wait, what? They sleep in the cells?
Equal accommodation. What can I say? Competitive integrity.
Right. Makes perfect sense.
We paid the warden's buyout and got the all clear on our little stunt. In, out. This whole thing is gonna be a breeze.
David, man. Man's been eating good in jail. You've got the connections. Respect.
Respect.
Nikola Kovac. I always knew you would come back for me.
Yo, well, on everyone, how you doing today? Sun's out, but we're still ducking the rain. My name's Shemzy, I was A-OK until both. What the fuck are we doing? I told you, I like jail. Known by the bouncers, cause I party rough. Then I got approached by Dirt McGruff. He was huge in the yo, so I called him off.
Well, that's how we got here, huh? Carrigan in a Falcons jersey, and Falcons a map away from the Lanxess. Was it all part of Blade's master plan? I'm not so sure after that Dust 2. We're going to have to wait and see. Mirage is up next. It's Navi's pick. It's their time for redemption. And it's Falcons coming off.
For this version of the Falcons, it's the fashion that they went on to close Dust 2 that's giving you some concern. Navi looking a little disjointed, have to refocus in between these maps. Have to hit hard from the word go. Looking at this A play, Falcons have gone to clear top middle, so they will have fast rotates available here. Monesi would love to thin the herd, but he's dead right away. Makazi leads with an entry.
It's explosive, and once that nade hits the smoke, Nico takes Makazi with him. Navi going to get that sight, they get the spawn. This is a lot of control. Can Falcons take it back? Tessa's high flash, and Falcons are coming in.
2 players here, Flash wrecks the move. It's a double kill lined up right there on a platter. Now just got to pick apart the rest. Bit tapped out. Nice. Falcons recover in the pistol.
Just feels like a different energy today from the Falcons, doesn't it, right? They are all smiles. They are flowing and everybody hitting hard. It's a big pistol round picked up by the Falcons at the Dawn and Mirage. NAVI get the plant they forced last time. This is NAVI. Maybe a little bit shaky today. Could not close from any advantage back on Dust. Will Mirage be different?
I see what you're saying there, though, right? Falcons do have this kind of swagger about them right now. Playing as though, you know, NAVI are massive underdogs or something in this head-to-head. Got to force buy back into this for NAVI. Hero guns for Alexi and Makazi and an attempt to get out into middle. You're working with a lot less in this buy round, though. One smoke left.
Nice.
One of the two guns already softened up. You get given this mid control by the Falcons for now. So NAVI have the space they were looking for. Just begs the question, what do they want to do with it? They have the util to launch an offensive out from middle. So yeah, they go looking for that space right off the top, wanting a gunfight, wanting a head-to-head. Falcons now move in and re-clear this right as NAVI have left. Again, perfect timing on this info. But it's led to a bit of a misread. Nico aggressing down through lower. Reinforcements arriving at B. One player over at the A side of the map. Honestly, just going to arrive in time to help out. But this A hit's coming. NAVI lob in their volley of util to try and get the ball rolling on this hit.
It's fine for Falcons to give away the plant. It's where NAVI are going to struggle winning this round in a post-spawn. They got no nades. They are just getting siphoned through the spawn one by one as Falcons fly in and eviscerate them from this force buy round. NAVI don't get a kill behind them. They only get the plant. Nowhere to go. Falcons shutting it down, and NAVI in the mud. 3K a player, got a half buy, got to offer over some respect. Falcons are earning it right now. Perfect info play, even though Falcons read it wrong, they clear out the other side of the map, and look how quick they're all together in spawn. NAVI had just no way to escape that bomb site. There were still questions for me here on Mirage. Not just the fact that NAVI have had a bit of a streak of it, albeit against weaker opposition, but more so Falcons' record on this map since Karrigan joining. They had some real trouble back at Astana into CAC. Not helped by some of Karrigan's weaker performances, but that was not what we got on Dust 2. Positive rated map, a lot of impact, and a well-cooled T-side. Started this map strong as well. So have things changed here for the Falcons? RV with a smoke and a flash. A hope and a dream on this B bomb site. Kiyasuke starting to claw back to B. They've got full mid info. Monacy's peeking top mid at this point, so Falcons know what's up. Well-timed block smoke. NAVI will be coming through.
Smoke goes in first. Karrigan going to open. And just a mow down from the captain. They try and abuse his bomb site. He shows them the door. Karrigan's not delusional. He knows he is kind of the weakest link here. He's used to squads trying to home in on his half of the map. I do expect, you know, that won't be the last attempt to get past Karrigan at B we see for NAVI in this game. That's already a promising sign there. Sure, it's only up against the pistols, but there was some money put into that round. It was a whole group of players flocking through the apartments, and it's going to give NAVI Bit of pause before they next go for that B hit, looking for this mid control.
Falcons get unlucky. That nade doesn't break the top mid smoke. They would have multiple players on their screen. It is a brawl, a bash from BIT. He does in a double. That could have gone a lot worse for NAVI, so to sit in a man advantage is not a bad position. Bomb retrieved, NAVI get grouped. Falcons are here.
Carrigan getting into position, spawn side, but they're already out ramp. This is an info he has. Still going to strike on a good timing. Carrigan, big damage. Now hands off to Kiyosuke. 1v2 and a CT re-wrap. Going to get here very, very quickly, running the whole way. Ema hears this, and he's going to delay this bomb plant. Forces you to go for something a little safer. Gives him that 1v1. Alexi had to chase for the trade. So NAVI's captain keeps that round in check.
I do still like the way that Kiyosuke plays it, just charging them down. It's just so much confidence here on this start of the game for Falcons. Doesn't look like much of a reset from that second map. They just keep it coming. I do think that round just comes down to the top mid smoke not getting naded open. I think if it gets broken properly, Falcons find multiple kills at the start of the round in middle. A very fine margin here for NAVI. Full blind on that flash. It goes a little bit wrong, but m0NESY still survives. Re-molly, and Alexi is burning alive. He has to smoke it. He knows they're coming out connector. Falcons putting a lot of threat on middle. Alexi almost dies to utility. You're going to need more to take down the Grenadier of NAVI. Ema in his classic position as NAVI vie for this A site. BIT spotted. NAVI heard.
Yeah, the longer you can keep BIT out of the equation, the better. Kept up his strong major performance, was the only guy for NAVI on Dust 2 hitting. Now he's got the squad with him though. And with entries out of Wonderful and Makazi, this is looking to be a quick round. Carrigan won on the backstab, but I don't imagine this amounts to anything here. m0NESY's already saving, low on HP from that earlier skirmish.
I love what NAVI do there. They know that Ema is such a threat that Falcons are looking over their shoulder. Ema was under earlier. He threw a con molly. He made a lot of noise. It made it pretty obvious, hey, this is an A attack. I'm coming in from the mid split. And then when NAVI get out A, they don't swing jungle. They don't even put a smoke down. Falcons are holding for the cross. Nothing comes. They start looking back mid. They look connector. They check window. That's when NAVI swing. Ema was never there. They know their lurker has put so much paranoia for Falcons that they can't feel safe in their positions. NAVI catch great timings on those swings. It's a big round here from NAVI. It's going to keep them above water on this T.
Of aggression out towards this B site. This is where this double AWP could come as a real surprise.
Yeah, you want to punish Carrigan. Well, this is not the man you were expecting, not the weapon either. Ooh, Jiggle forces that shot. It's huge info here for NAVI. It might adjust their plan entirely. You hear them run back, but NAVI aren't so sure. Double nade on Ema. Nico jump shotting, really just trying to flush out this lurk.
So this is a mid to be taking shape. 3 players in the apartments. KyuSuke gonna have another shot on this AWP, but that smoke blocks him off the angle. He's repositioning and Carrigan's getting split on. What a turn to find Makazi. And the short players dealt with by Nico, just all across the board. Falcons have each other's backs. Finally Wonderful with a breakthrough kill, but he's left in a very unlikely round. We'll get the bomb down. It's just where do you go from here? Don't know how close the Falcons are. Don't know numbers. There's a lot of uncertainties for Wonderful to try and work with. Edging his way forward, gets the spot on Tessez. It's backing up into the open, into 2 guys out through short. That's the nasty surprise. So B site holds its own with a bit of help from Nico.
Yeah, surprised to not see Wonderful take that up in the post plant. Felt like a perfect opportunity for a player who's had a fantastic 2026. Took his first MVP back in Atlanta and has led NAVI to renewed form and to multiple trophies this season. Wonderful has his AWP now. KyuSuke puts his down. And Carrigan, again, for the second time, starts alone on this B bomb site, entirely evading as Falcons look to fight middle. Oh, Nico gets a taste of his own medicine. Finally, the nades connect to him. And we even saw, just with that over-the-shoulder shot, Nico checking out his utility damage on the scoreboard. That's because Falcons have put a lot of these HEs down under to punish EMA, and they know they're working. This is a dangerous peak. Nico won't commit. They let NAVI make the next play.
Already looking like this might be another go at trying to abuse this B side, but you've got a lot of bodies out towards middle. Bomb alone in the apartments with Bit. He's just worked his way into this corner and con on it. Good timing, Wonderful there to bail them out at least. Wonder if that kill changes things, because you've still got Makazi going short, still have the bomb back at apartments with Bit. And this B site hold has dissolved to just Carrigan. 2 players ready to come around the corner. He's asking for rotates, but they're so far away. He is on his own here, and big damage won't cut it. Needed a kill, really. Wonderful. Oh, that's a punishing miss. Tessez gonna mop him up.
We're back on.
A game of foot here, flash to send KyuSuke in. Nades brutal, softens up Alexi. Now they've just got to clear him. Does Makazi try and help? Swinging on out, bit of help there. And so Navi's game plan of abusing B, this time able to misdirect the Falcons, get them rotating away. Everything works out.
Yeah, just saw Carrigan kind of shrug it off there. He knows he was fighting the urge to push up on short and take that engagement. He changes his mind, but he doesn't get back around the corner in time. They trap him in that position. And only damage, it's not enough. NAVI are able to convert. This solo B presence finally getting punished. Because it's one thing to have your weaker player on the B side, but when you leave him alone as well, it's going to get even harder. Despite that, Carrigan's 8-3 right now. But this round, nothing done, and NAVI do convert that 5v3 that was getting out of hand. They're taking a spawn on ramp. Monacy getting mental. And with that, Nico walks alongside out under. EMA not flashing this, could go very, very pear-shaped. Nico's initiating. EMA looking to wait it out. Monacy, will he get dragged into this AWP? Yes, he will.
It's exactly the reaction they were hoping for. Just bait that peek out of EMA. Give him a fight that's so tantalizing he can't resist. Monacy answers back with an equalizer, but they're out on A. Monacy gets there just in time. Real quick on this AWP. And this is a big problem now. This is Monacy with hot hands, feeling good. Knows he could be the difference maker. m0NESY is on for the ace. His Orpin counterpart left in this, and m0NESY's departed, going back to B. Leaves Wonderful a 1v1 for the site control. A low HP KYOSUKE hides back in the spawn. But he needs this element of surprise. The only way Wonderful finds KYOSUKE here is if he goes for the check, if he goes for the clear. If you assume you've got room, you're dead to spawn. And so Wonderful, one chance to make this happen, walks right into the crosshair. What a round from that m0NESY AWP.
Yeah, just a thing of beauty to watch. It's the hot hands, it's the flow state, it's everything we saw back on Dust 2 for Falcons, where it feels like nothing can go wrong. Good setup to start the round. NiKo doesn't overcommit, plays smart, lets m0NESY excel. And he goes on to trap every single player. Feels like they're already dead before they peek him.
Nice, Ilya.
Nice, Ilya, indeed. Broken money now for NAVI.
NAVI keep getting Falcons in this vulnerable position where they could reset them, but they're struggling to capitalize. All these breakthrough rounds that would have turned the tide, offered up a streak, just haven't come through. And they're not really in a position where they can chase their losses. It's late in the half. So you're just prioritizing as many gun rounds as you can. You've lost that initiative, you've lost that ability to break the Falcons' money. If they get a clean round here, they're pretty much short up till the end of the game, or the end of the half. And a very active CT side down to swing and fight around this mid control. In rounds where they don't, they'll pressure the extremities, taking away ramp space. Right now, it's just a farm session for KYOSUKE out towards mid. No problems versus the Pistols, and a clean round called forth by the Falcons. 5 alive when all is said and done.
Nice.
So there's that money built up. Here's the challenge for NAVI.
Time out. يلا كمان 3 راوند.
A pick, right? They had that kill out through the connector. It scrambled the rotates away from B, and it created gaps in the defense. Without these kills on the mid lurk, it starts to get really hard to push and pull Falcons around the map.
Right, can Wonderful be the difference maker? He is audaciously out middle behind the tap. Fast with the flash.
1 kill.
Waiting for Falcons to re-clear middle, but nothing of the sort in this round, and this has been after multiple rounds where Falcons dedicate a lot of control in the middle of the map. This time, it's m0NESY AWPing B. It's KYOSUKE hiding out in plain sight. And it's Falcons just waiting for Ema lurk. Nothing coming in. NAVI are regrouping for this execute. Ema part of the pack for once. Realizing that things aren't going his way in middle. And they might get worse because Falcons have already read this setup.
Oh, great timing catch on Tessez. KYOSUKE, though, able to control the spray. Stops that spillover. One back for Ema. Tag down range off the Wonderful Orb. NAVI have been able to break through. That double kill doesn't matter as they still get their entries. And so down to a retake now. Carrigan stuck on Ema. And he will close on that all-important kill. Stops the first man in.
Save.
And with it, gives Falcons something to consider. NiKo's wounded. They made some money with the 5 alive round, but it's not invincible, and they might just feel the pressure to save here. It's a reluctant save out of the Falcons. You saw them down to give that 3v3 a go.
Yeah, Monacy's not feeling like the AWP is a limiting factor in this post plant, but the man advantage certainly is. Big kill from Ema over Stairwell. And Falcons can't find a way back in, so NAVI do get a 4th round on this T side. Slowly but surely chipping away at this first half. It's huge entries from Ema. Kiyosuke was looking like he had a hell of a multi-kill lined up there on balcony as they come through that smoke. But NAVI broke the timing, jumping on this default player as the smoke blooms in Palace. So it's close, but NAVI still need another round in this half.
Ema faking a mid-take, while the rest of NAVI look to go quickly into an A-play. Molly forces Tesses to commit to a real awkward fight. Double entry for Mikaze. And he just guns it all the way spawn side with him already in at CT. This is a very rough round for the Falcons. 3v5, out of position, no control. Post plant's already taken for the NAVI squad, and this game's going to tighten up.
Yeah, even though, again, Falcons make the read, right? They've got the setup to start the round. 2 players balcony, high-low, but NAVI just completely catch them off guard by going for an instant execute. Perfect molly from onto Tesses. And NAVI barely a scratch, saving themselves right down the tail end of their T side, looking for an even half. Certainly not bad on Mirage. And this begs a question from Falcons, because they've had back-to-back correct reads, correct stacks, and both times have just been locked out of this A-bomb site. What do you do now? NAVI showing up, not willing to go out quietly in this series.
Type of double play in the mid round.
Will NAVI keep that up?
Wonder what the adjustment's going to be on the back of that pause.
Heavy mid smokes. Falcons dodging the nade stack again. Second time's a charm, but NAVI come charging up short with an entry. Carrigan alone. This abuse on this B-bomb side might be inevitable as NAVI crack it open.
Again, just playing with pace. Playing on that very first timing. Alexi cutting down the rotates. And now clutching at straws in a 2v4. Tesses makes it out, goes right into that wonderful AWP. Monacy might have had a sick 4K earlier. Surely doesn't have this one in him. First shot lands market side. But now they've got him boxed in and he's working, fighting against this clock. Every second that passes, it gets more and more unlikely. Monacy, crazy second. But trade right away for NAVI. They piece together how to beat the Falcons, tying the Falcons defense, and it's given them enough to make something of Mirage after all. And Wonderful, not want to miss this opportunity, nails that opening. He's got support from Bit. And so this crossfire looking to be brutal, tearing through the Falcons. Bit up and over, just remaining dynamic. They'll finally deal with him. But it's just a flood of NAVI players in the face of the Falcons.
And Nico was trying to put together his own ace there. He was 3 kills deep with a P250, but too many targets as NAVI flood the site. Banging shots from Bit on the Julies. And that is their first pistol in this best of 3. Couldn't have come at a better time. Will the second half of this series belong to NAVI? Very much a chance.
And this is also where Falcons have had a lot of their struggles.
All smiles here, though. Cracking jokes on the ramp. But yeah, you're right. T-sides have been full of troubles.
Hear those pistols shooting and look at the minimap. All of NAVI want these ecos. And so no bomb plant, nothing to be found here. Just Nico and his Deeg, and not for long. Right, building a bit of a lead now, are NAVI. And after Wonderful really struggling back on Dust 2, returning to the form he's held at this major. Right in there behind Bit on the scoreboard. I think there's a lot to feel happy about right now for NAVI. This is 5 in a row. Rifles finally back out for the Falcons. To go about that lower tunnel's control, and Makazi didn't like it, spam connecting. Still NAVI fighting for this mid control. Eventually just gonna slink back. Get a little bit nervous with it being so quiet. And they've used really all their defensive util here. Falcons looking curiously out towards B. That might be making you nervous because Alexi's on this side of the map all alone. No util to slow this down. Nothing to take the pace out of the round. It's just him with an SMG. Makazi rotating over. Will be close by in the market, but if Alexi dies with nothing done, this might have to be a save. So you need something from the captain. There's the first. That's going to bring Makazi into the conversation as well. He barrels out through the market. Trying to put up a stand because his teammates are a long way away. Kiyosuke quick to deal with him. On plant now and a decision to make. He got 3 players primed and ready to go for this retake. You're going to look for an incision. All grouping up, market side. They swing on out, and as Kiyosuke went looking for that trade, he realizes the cover is there. Him and m0NESY trade the contact, leaves it to Bit, and he gets pincered, sandwiched from both sides. That was not an easy 2-on-3, but they handle it really nice. Kiyosuke and m0NESY playing off of each other well to see that round through for the Falcons.
And you feel the swing of Makazi mattering even more now because that molly actually didn't spread. There was room back behind the site. He could have lasted a few more seconds and waited for his team, but he felt the pressure to swing. He felt like that molly was a guarantee. It was not. And so m0NESY and Kiyosuke clutch out around on that B bomb site. With T-side rounds the Falcons really need. And in the 7 games the Falcons have played on Mirage since Karrigan joined, they've only managed a 7-round half once on this T-side. That was their first game against 9Z. Since that point, it has been 6 or less. And so Falcons need to give us their best game yet. against the best team they've faced with everything on the line. Good entry.
One guy already is. This is on track to be Kiyosuke's best game at the major thus far. 18-7. Top of the board for the Falcons.
Sneaky, sneaky.
What are they up to? Because that bomb's back over towards B. Waiting with m0NESY and Tesses. Nico throwing util out from Palace, but with Bit cleaning up the con side. That flash arriving way too late. And Makazi head on a swivel, keeps B under control. m0NESY's low on health. Does he have this clutch in him? NAVI are closing in, and they're closing in quick. Bit's going to arrive before that bomb even goes down. Kill instantly mopped up by Bit. And no worries about that m0NESY clutch.
Saving grace here from Bit and Connector. Double kill as they come up. That was Falcons on the fake as well. They don't even get around the corner. Ugly despite a very important entry. Bit makes it look easy and finds that third off the catch-up. Falcons cannot celebrate too soon. These T-side troubles might come right back to haunt them. That round would have broken Navi's money. It would have put Falcons in the lead. Instead, we're talking about pistols and double digits for NAVI on their map pick, and Blade punctuates this round with a timeout.
Timeout. ضايلهم واحدة. فالكون 2.
Players for NAVI, but still time to wake up. Falcons have a couple of deagles. Bit doing a lot in this CT side, winning the two most important rounds in that 3K buy and the pistol with the Julies. It's back in spawn on this one. Bomb is Palace. Carrigan is searching. Wonderful breaks the silence, and one by one, NAVI get into this round.
No issues up against the pistols. That's always just reassuring, isn't it? Considering they were up for getting broken in that last rifle round, now you get to put a bit of a cushion on this lead. And NAVI know this map is kind of won in this next round if they're able to take it when the guns come back out for the Falcons. You got them right where you want them, as you say. Just get through this one, make it concise, make it clean. Finish with 5 alive. And already you feel like you're onto a winner. Kiyosuke getting sandwiched here with Love, a chance to strike with this deagle. But they've not made it a fair fight. 2 players latched onto this position. Deag delivers one. Loses the bomb short side. Kiyosuke does need to die, so can't be too successful here. Nails a second headshot. Starts to close in on Wonderful. Waiting back in the market, he'll collect a freebie. Still, that's great damage in at the close. That's a 2v5 with 3 kills. Found before time expires for the Falcons.
It still feels like it's going to be a very difficult game for the Falcons to win it out on Mirage now on this T side. NAVI just 3 rounds away from taking us the distance to Anubis in this series, and Wonderful is warming up. 4-0 on the opening duels. Bit holding very strong in a couple of rounds, and Falcons have been very reliant on Kiyosuke and m0NESY. So let's see what this first buy, or second buy for Falcons in the half, has in store. Got broken very early in this half. They've got to make this one work. Bit finds Kiyasuke in middle. They try and set him up. He goes down. Wonderful. Holding strong. There's a trade, but this is a 2v5 we're talking about. NAVI are not here to throw this away.
m0NESY's got all the attention. NAVI are moving in to get rid of him. If he falls, Karrigan ain't winning this round. They're just going to ice him out while he's alone. Double swung, nowhere left to hide for m0NESY. Kiyasuke sent to his doom into a triple mid-stack. Round just becomes unraveled. No entries won for the Falcons. A convincing case from NAVI. A welcome return to form.
Yeah, showing some great resilience in this series. They got blown out of Dust 2. They were 6-3 down, and m0NESY was putting on highlights in that first half. Felt like Falcons were just going to swim into the Lanxess. But NAVI, with great mental, are now taking a convincing victory here on their map. Will there be any more bumps on this journey? Falcons just have pistols looking to pop on this B site. NiKo looking for Deagle in middle. But nothing getting offered up. And so Falcons give time to NiKo, searching in middle. Oh, wonderful, missed that. A brief window, perhaps, for NiKo. Bit, oh, he just stumbles into this angle. NiKo's holding on. Bottom con smoke, and Bit doesn't know NiKo already got here. There is an opportunity, but Bit just swings in, denies it. Good check. And with that, hope will die, as all Falcons have are 2 flashes.
Makazi with the cover, lights up the apartments. And with it all ablaze, m0NESY throwing into another unwinnable clutch. Has that 1 kill short, but NAVI beeline for him as they make a break for a close on Mirage. It's been left down to this. Zonic calling in his timeout.
خلصت. شو الماب اللي بعديها كانت؟
Falcons fell short of playoffs there. Now sure, there is still room to lose this series. The goal for the Falcons. However, it might have to be decided on Anubis. Sonic's timeout over. Falcons time to shine. And NAVI with wind in their sails. 4 straight rounds on this CT side. This is good timing. Window just got broken and Falcons have walked out after the fact. So no info at the moment for NAVI that everyone is here. But no one open for the taking. No one susceptible to this contact play. How deep will Falcons get before NAVI realize that's a perfect timing?
Great catch. Kiyasuke double. Surely that's enough. Bit puts up one of his own. Will they check Makazi? No, he's been overlooked. That's a free kill. And this could still spiral. This could still get away from the Falcons. It's Kiyasuke and NiKo left in this. They've got to combine their powers, but right now they're split up. Alexi with the reroute background spawn side. You got 45 seconds here. Bomb loose out towards A, and you're still playing a guessing game as to where Alexi is.
Hunting for Ghost. They're looking on B. There's nobody home.
And now with Makazi taking a deep ramp position, Alexi ready to play out from spawn, NAVI have assembled a crossfire. Within that one kill from Makazi, Nico left in a real rough clutch, and he'll swing him wide to seal the deal on Mirage. NAVI bouncing back at an alarming rate. Might have started slow, but they shake that off in time for Mirage, finishing with their top performers looking lights out. Falcons gonna have to dig deep and now attempt to bounce back at their own.
شو الماب اللي بعده؟
The game plan also just looked very solid. I think Blade, he had cooked up some very good things, and just looking a bit of the team comms as well from the side of the Falcons, they were aware of that there was something different being thrown at them, but they couldn't really find the answer. And you know, the disconnect that we saw on Dust 2 was slightly different on this one. It was a lot more about them understanding the rotations, but also just putting themselves in favorable situations throughout the game.
Yeah, like we said, there's nothing Navi can't do on Mirage, right? Like their playbook is endless, and they can make whichever adjustments they deem necessary. You know, Falcons were up 6-3 from that point on. It was 10-1 for the side of Navi. I think those last 3 rounds in the first half that they were able to rack up were hugely important, because those 6 rounds, they were all 6 gun rounds. Falcons had a good economy, they were saving guns, but Navi just found ways to win rounds.
Yeah, truly a bread and butter map for the side of Navi. Now let's go back to a little bit earlier than you're alluding to, Janko, because Dupree, you picked out round number 5 for us. T-side round from Navi. What are we looking at here?
It's a very classic Navi default round, but this round is super important to try and avoid the reset here, since they won the round prior to this one. And it is just a classic, you know, the top mid smoke, the window smoke with the Molotov. And Alexi, he actually gets a brawl here with Monesi, and then he gets a little bit lucky not getting killed, whether it's Monesi whiffing or anything, but at least gives a lot of info, and he turns his attention back to the A side by gathering up the squad here. And I don't really like the setup that Falcon has going here. It feels like they're trying to, you know, have a little bit of a brawl for mid, because they know Navi love these, you know, these splits. As of now, it just this Molotov that Alexi is going to be throwing here, that's kind of the key to me, because both of the rotations happening for B happens in jungle, and then you just isolate 2 players with 1 Molotov. I would have loved to see that Falcons would have rotated maybe a little bit faster towards CT, so they would spread out their defense a little bit more, and also just Nico gets shot in the back. I think he thinks Tessus has his back, but yes, he doesn't.
Yeah, and I think it's also okay if you want it to be a mid-centric setup. At some point, you need to clear mid, you know, or do something. Yes. You can't just be stuck like that the entire time. And there are a couple of different situations where either the setup doesn't seem the best, or the one player is sort of out of position and maybe tries to do too much on his own, right? Which have been issues that have played Falcons for a while.
As you alluded to as well, when we come into the tail end of that first half, it's where kind of Navi really start to find that comfort, right?
Yeah, they switch it up, right? Like with just doing something a bit more unorthodox here. They're going to group up towards A, and Bit sees the trajectory of the smoke, knows where Tessus is, catches him, and Kyusuke finds 2 great kills, and Apps is smoked. Why is he peeking into this fight? He has 2 teammates in jungle. Just stay in sandwich, right? Like, just hold Apps from there, and your teammates can hold someone jumping on top of Tetris, right? Like, Monesi can start searching with T-op, like, they can help you. There's a lot of things that can be done here, and yeah, he had a lot of kills. He had a really good game, I think, but it's still some of these details where it's, you know, you want to see progress, right? Yes. It's been a year now in that he's been on the team, and sometimes the bloodlust can really cost the Falcons.
He got a little bit stressed in that position. I think that's probably why he decided to peek. So he would probably rather peek than finding himself stuck in there getting Molotov or just someone, you know, timing the peek. He wanted to take that fight to them instead, and I guess that's what it is, right? But you know,
that's the problem with Falcons.
I know, right?
The answer is always for each player peek. Yeah. Never a thought crosses their mind. I mean, not never. I'm just saying, it's like It's never, oh, maybe I can wait and my teammates will come and help me, or maybe I'll just buy time for my teammates to rotate in. No, it's always like, I don't want to die in a stupid way. Doesn't matter how you die if your team wins the round, right? So it's about changing the way you think sometimes a little bit to have the bigger picture in mind. And yeah, NAVI was just a better team. It's not like that this one round cost him the game or anything like that, but those issues are going to keep creeping up for the Falcons.
No, it's a telltale, right? It's something that happens a little bit too often if you're a fan on the side of Falcons. But if you're a NAVI fan, more specifically, if you're a BIT fan, you're having a good time right now, Peter.
Yeah, like BIT has been the best performer for NAVI throughout the major, so it's good to see that he continues doing so, right? He's the anchor of the team, but he gets so much done. So also being the lurker, like specifically on A, like he switches it up all the time. Like he's either lurking in Palace or he lurks on Ram, and he just gets like so much stuff done. Even like the round here where he sees the trajectory of the smoke and goes out. The pistol round, he's also being a nuisance. Even then when he actually falls back and play connected, this round was really important for him as well. He's just such a solid player. Like he gets so much stuff done for the team, and it's nice to see that he just continues his form, because he's very much needed to continue to see NAVI do good at this major. And it's just such a joy to see that he's playing some of the tough positions, but he just gets a lot of good timings, even having 100 ADR through it is with 4 multi-kills. That's big in a game where they needed to bounce back to find that disconnect that they couldn't connect for Dust 2.
And 4 multi-kills doesn't sound like a lot, but it felt like it came in the 4 of the most important rounds. You know, first gun round in the first half, second pistol, reset round in the second half, right? So every time his team needed it, he stepped up to the task. And yeah, a different conversation I feel like Blade can have now with his players.
What do you suspect he's saying? It's quite a gesticulating there, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. I don't know if NAVI expected Anubis, right? The Falcons haven't played it with this lineup. I don't know if teams were cracking each other, have any, you know, sort of feelings about it. But I think NAVI is in a situation where they know if they just focus on themselves, it doesn't matter what the Falcons bring. You know, if they play their own game and if they play it on a good enough level, like they'll come out victorious on the other side.
Before we do dive into that Anubis conversation, I just wanted to touch upon BIT's friend turned foe on the other side of the server. That is indeed m0NESY. Of course, it didn't amount to a victory for Falcons, but I just love watching this guy play. I can't get enough for it. I was saying to Dupree, can we kind of maybe put style points in the AWPer of the Year conversation? Because I feel like then it would be undisputed, right? I just love seeing him enter the server, and yeah, as much as it didn't amount to a W, still super impactful.
I think without the m0NESY, he would have been an even bigger defeat. You know, he had that massive 4K on A where he just knocked. What's so good about him is that obviously he's very flashy. He's good with both the AWP, but also with rifles. But you know, he gets so much stuff done for the team, and I love this new approach. I don't know if it's like the like Kerrigan or Sonic going, but he goes for a lot of fights, and I want him to go for these fights because he's good enough to do it. And sometimes, yeah, he can have an off game, but most of the time he hits these nutty shots where people are trying to jiggle him, but he still managed to hit it. He's a massive clutch player as well, so he's very important, and it's just good to see that he's turned out for the major in exact form that we hope for.
Yeah, he is lights out. The entertainment factor is through the roof when m0NESY is on the server. And as we saw, even on the first map, which yes, Falcons won in a dominant way, it is like the players coming through with some of these rounds and getting them out of bad situations, right? So we'll see on Anubis. It's a huge unknown to see how they're going to approach it. Maybe it's a good thing, you know, on Anubis, you really have to play as a team. There's not really much you can do, you know, on your own.
That good or bad for Falcons?
Good, because they'll be forced to do it, right?
Okay.
and play a bit more together, but we'll see. I mean, this is the map that NAVI has been picking time and time again against Vitality, and they've had some success against them on, so they won't feel any worse on this map than they would have on Mirage.
They get to start on T side of things, they being NAVI as well. What do you expect seeing them hot out the gate?
I think for me, it is a clash of styles. You know, NAVI with their strong T sides against Falcons who almost have to be winning games on CT sides, right? Like, yes, I know they won 9 rounds on T side, Dust 2, and I know Anubis is more of a T-sided map, but I just don't think they've had enough time to really gel with Kerrigan and get used to his play style or calling style, and their playbook is deep enough, right? So it has to be things like having a decent CT side, winning both pistols, you know, or some of the hero rounds coming through like we saw from Tessis on Dust 2.
Yeah, I'm actually just excited to see what the Falcons will bring to the table, because there's not a whole lot of data to have. They've only played it once the last 3 months, and it's still a map that to me is relatively unknown when I look at the Falcons, because they might turn out to be really good, and I think that could be a really important card to have in your hands turning out for playoffs, because there is as I mentioned coming into the game, there's a lot of teams that's really good at playing overpass, and since they're not playing it, they might be forced to either pick it or play Anubis. So this could be a good test for them, and I think it's rightfully so a good time to get it.
Can you both give me a prediction then, heading into this? I'm very excited we get a third map. Who's going away with a spot in the Lanxess?
I think NAVI, they're the better team on Anubis.
Yeah, I think NAVI's also going to run away with it.
Well, let's see if Falcons can indeed be bouncing back into this one. Not the greatest showing, to say the least, on NAVI's map pick of Mirage, but that does leave us knocking on the doorstep of Anubis. This map will decide who goes through to the playoffs at the Incel Extreme Masters Cologne Major.
Bro, you're baiting every round talking about, I had so many trades. You're trading anything. You're miles away. I carried you. Tell me one round. Hold on. Let me pull up CS stats. Oh, wait. My bad.
You suck. Settle your debates. Search your profile on CS Stats and turn on tracking to see all your games.
Double peek, he's getting his shot. Unbelievable! Something special to pull up his decoy, and that's exactly what happens. Katowice! We are back!
Do it. Kim, can you hold 15. Main? I can try. Hold main, let me pick on you. I try to molly main, okay? One trash. Trash, stack. Trash. Two. Turning. Trash rebuild. I'm not kitchen. Up. Nice, Илья, хорош. Good job. Хорош, блядь. We need to save if they go B. Hold that. That con. One more that con. Nice. He flash from maps. Don't see con. Don't see ramp. One more that. Nice. One more BF. BF flight speed. Low speed minus 50, guys.
Who is this? I'm gunshot.
Minus 50. I have no armor. Kitchen. I have no armor. I'm coming. Nice.
You've had a few IGLs. You got a new one now. He's the GOAT.
GOAT.
What's he brought to you?
Yeah, I feel very comfortable in his system. I like how we play the rounds. I like how we think during the round, that everyone is vocal and active. Everyone can give ideas and whatever he sees. So our communication is very important in our system, so we have to be always on point.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering also, we've seen, in these two events, Kyosuke playing, much better in some of these playoff games than it has been before. What is it? What do you feel like is the reason for that?
I just think he has a man to follow now and trade. I think Finn gives him a lot of space and a lot of directions in the rounds, and I think he's just feeling more comfortable, like going in and just trading. Because before it was a bit of mixed roles when Damian was on the team, but I think now it's very, very clear that Finn is the guy up front. You just follow him and you get the trade. And I think with this now he got the confidence, so now it's going to be much easier for him to also be the front guy when he needs to be. So I was really happy to see him performing the way he did in Astana and also in the CAC.
And I have to ask you, Finn, over the course of your career, and especially in FaZe, like, you've been a fan favorite everywhere you go. Obviously, with the Falcons organization, there's a lot of people out there hate watching. I've never seen an anniversary of a round that's been lost, being talked about. So it takes it to a new level. Like, has that been, difficult to adjust to? Has it, have you even noticed it to some point? Like,
now I think the expectation everybody had of us in FaZe was unfair with the team we had. So every tournament we had very high expectations of ourselves, and for the team we were, there was always disappointment. And I don't think it's much more different. Of course, there's a lot of more things on social media with Falcons, but it's funny when you go into the arena, it's just like everybody's kind of a Falcons fan suddenly. They just don't have the jersey on, which I think is showcasing what's being built. There's a lot of fans of the players, and I think when you have a Falcons jersey on the fans, you probably have things to explain and stuff like that. But in my opinion, we are here to win trophies. We all on the same page, and I think it's no different to other organizations. There is just high expectation of us, and this is the player I want to be.
Oh wow, there's the first for Huntcrack. Nico gets a double. There's still 2 players left. They got no help on them. 13 and 3. Oh my goodness, how does he do this? How does he do it again?
Well, playoffs on the line, and NAVI with one hell of a bounce back sees this series go the distance. We're about to witness the first flight of the Falcons with this new look roster on Anubis, our decider.
Yeah, it was a good map for them before Karrigan joined, right? 4 wins in a row. Not many played across the year, but they still got in there and found wins over Spirit, over Furia. That Spirit one was a stomp as well back at Rio. So some reassuring signs perhaps for the Falcons. We'll see if that continues now with Karrigan here.
Yeah, for Karrigan himself back in FaZe, only playing this map 4 times this year. So NAVI, having put in more time on Anubis, at 11 matches played 2026 than FaZe and Falcons combined. There's a lot of questions around how the Falcons are going to look on this map.
Oof,
and that is one hell of a way to start. Nico and m0NESY. That duo, that pesky duo getting stuck in out towards mid.
30 shots here, and they want to go back for more. Falcons feeling hungry. Set up together. Flash could be potent. Nico fall blind. m0NESY shoots him in the back, and he finds 4 in this pistol. m0NESY standing tall, shrugs it off as Falcons just walk all over NAVI. 4 out of 5 pistols in the bag for Falcons in this series. Karrigan, biggest hype man here. As Falcons trying to get the good vibes back in this series. Dust 2, they felt invincible. Reality hit hard on Mirage. And Anubis is always difficult to predict.
Tension broken here with a nice shutdown. No worries. Kiyosuke and Karrigan stopping that B play. No entries found. A 5 alive round for the Falcons. These guns are coming through for NAVI. Curious what kind of tone we see set in these rifle rounds for the Falcons. You see some CT squads look to be really aggressive from the get-go, try and set a precedent early of taking away this water control. Some preferring to just play it by the book, by the numbers, lean a bit more into stacks and mid-round aggression, but we are going to get something early here. Flash is primed and ready over towards B main.
Couple going high here for m0NESY. It's going to send Ema back. Falcons take the space. Don't overcommit. Just a lot of resources used in this position. Blocking NAVI on an early move. But NAVI weren't in the business of getting anything done. They were really just waiting out this opening move from the Falcons. And so they're fine to recommit back to B main, walk it slow. Two smokes remain for Falcons. m0NESY hovers, hesitating between the two bomb sites, uncertain where NAVI are going to go. Quick to react to either, committed to neither. NAVI keep you guessing.
Mid's a great place to end up. Falcons made the decision to leave that part of the map empty, so nice for NAVI just to have this in their back pocket. Looking like we could have a fight down here as KSUK teetering around that peak, but instead it's just a boost up into the window. Space given. It's the A play that gets spotted. Bit with the catch. Sees NiKo in this position as well. KSUK trying to help him from the other side. But this A play is coming in. They will finally flush out Bit. Still, Falcons very far removed from this round.
Ooh dear, Molly is a problem, but NAVI get off the bomb plant before NiKo's hits theirs. He's holding for the repush. Makazi flashing wonderful in, looks perfect. NiKo dodges it though, going far too deep as NiKo collects a kill. They come in from heaven at the same time. Falcons speeding up.
Yeah, starting to feel claustrophobic here for NAVI. Ema throwing into a clutch, needs this kill and he can't wrangle it in. That's Falcons out of position, but denying any type of a foothold for NAVI to play around. That NiKo kill is massive.
Yeah, give and take in this round. Even though it felt like Falcons kind of butchered it by stepping on that flank, Bit realized what was up. He's able to take one with him before he's flushed out by Connector. Still, Falcons know what the reaction is. NAVI jump that A site. They find an empty site. They get a bomb plant, but it's so uncomfortable in the post. They don't have heaven control. They don't have main control. NAVI have nowhere to hide. So frustrating round to lose, because even though NAVI make the right reaction, they get nothing from it. Trying to utilize a lot of nade stacks across these last two maps. None of them have connected. It's m0NESY's AWP starting A for a change. The thing about CT Anubis is you got to be dynamic. You got to keep changing it up. Can't be predictable. So Falcons try something else, and it works wonderfully.
Yeah, ain't no predicting that. Little timing push for Tessez with m0NESY covering on that AWP. And this hero gun round off to a rough start for NAVI. That AK lost in the water. Wonderful gonna go fishing, grabs it. Won't be able to fare against that m0NESY AWP.
Falcons with very confident reads on the CT side. We've seen 2 rounds now. They just literally walk out of A main, not even peeking or strafing, just shifting into the fights. Seem to know what NAVI are up to. Pre-Molly down on B as they look to reclear this position. It's been absent, vacant for a while, but Falcons are here and they're here in a big pack. 3 players ready and waiting. That's a nice entry from Ema, but are you ready for everybody in this bomb site? NiKo keeps the pressure on, and there is no getting out of here, NAVI. Tessez ended your round before it began. And Falcons go 4-0 up on a very difficult half.
I think if you're the Falcons too, you know that this is one area of your map pool that just hasn't been tested. And so if there ever was a time for it to try and get figured out, it was going to be at the major. Able to dodge playing it across Astana. CAC, and you know it was only a matter of time, so they had to have put some work in.
Yeah, no one likes this map.
Time out. بالله عليكم 10. يلا كرجن صح.
Squad. Yeah, it's not like these players are suddenly going to feel massively less confident on the map. Sure, that the captain's changed. Some of the ideas you're going to have will be different and where you pull them in. But that net comfortability is there. This is NAVI wanting to have not sprung a trap. Sure, other squads already in those playoffs will thank them for being the team to volunteer this info about Falcons on Anubis. It's been off to a good start. So how are NAVI going to try and break through? You got the m0NESY Orb. Again, just keeping it dynamic as to where this pops up. Last seen it out towards A main. This time on a line through those mid doors. And a dry face from Alexi baits them in to this double setup. Now m0NESY does get a little bloodlusty there. Tries to play it forward, goes looking for more, and gives away a kill to the wonderful AWP.
We're seeing we know NAVI are very reliant on their read of the game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing with Blade and the prep and the staff behind NAVI, but you know, you wonder if that will be difficult on a map like this where Falcons just keep changing their setups every single CT side. NiKo now back in this A site, because that was Alexi not calling for the flash. Wonderful had it out. Alexi said no. He dry walked it into the orb, into a double setup. Falcons find an immediate double kill on middle, but somehow NAVI are back in this round.
Yeah, Tesses didn't manage the trade, and so now things can get awkward. Will catch Bit second time around. Tag down range from the orb, and only a dink for Tesses. So this one handed off to Kyosuke and Carrigan in a retake. What was feeling like a comfortable round, now called in a question.
Oh, he hit the timing.
No, he hasn't. Wonderful. Missed opportunity. Could have saved Dima's life. Will make up for it with a late trade, and now is to see this clutch through. Kyosuke's already slipped the net. Scales up into heaven. Blade looking on. Nervous now, but footsteps heard, and Wonderful's got that to play with. Kyosuke's chasing Ghost all the way in a spawn. Doesn't realize where Wonderful's gotten to until that Molotov comes out, and that's enough to win it.
What a confusing round for Wonderful. He absolutely misses the craziest timings. He misses Carrigan slipping out heaven, killing his teammate, and then he misses Kyosuke walking through the entire site and getting up into heaven. He pieces it together. Kyosuke goes running for nothing, and he can't find him. So Wonderful's Molotov wins the round, and that is NAVI from a 3v5. They lost 2 kills in middle at the dawn of the round. NiKo and m0NESY shut that down, and still NAVI clutch it out. And it's not the round I would have banked on NAVI winning, but it comes early enough in this half. Falcons just rushing mid, but Wonderful's got the B pick. That could open it up.
He's hit some blinders. Even that tag through heaven in the last round was crazy. Now an opening onto Carrigan. Mid-aggression, Alexi looking to quell it. They don't know about NiKo. So he's going to try and play out on this island for as long as he can. m0NESY thought about flashing to help him out. NiKo says no.
Could he hold it?
Doesn't want this telegraphed. Knows he needs a multi-kill here. That's the bomb away from NAVI, and NiKo just goes on patrol, looking further afield. Gonna keep trying to strike from new positions, new angles, get as much value as he can from being in NAVI's backline. But this wonderful orb, it's been lights out on that angle, gonna deal with NiKo.
Huge smoke. So much uncertainty in this round for the Falcons, not knowing where to hedge their bets, and as they walk into this A site, Bit has already set up shop. You might clear positions, but do you check back sight? Bit waits. And Falcons is quiet. May they walk away? They start to hear the steps, but Bit is here to punish.
Oh, there's the spot. He just saw the m0NESY Orb. Still, the info is there. Bit now dead out in the open. They're going to try and retreat, but there isn't time for this. Makazi's got to battle forward, and he's effectively in a 1v2. Wonderful's not a part of this. Makazi's got to do it alone. Off that bomb, there's the catch. Kyosuke can stop this. Charging in. Makazi with the save.
How on earth did NAVI win that round? It goes so wrong from such a strong position. Bit blunder. And Makazi with that swing out. I thought he had no chance to get those kills. Falcons give him that opportunity.
يا باي والله حرام هالراوند. كيسوكي والله تاني راوند. والله تاني راوند كيسوكي والله حرام. راوند والله هيك طاروا هيك بالهوا.
6 rounds deep. Now Falcons money on the line. Honestly, or Kiyasuke rifle and a bit of aggression from Nico was stifled by that nade. He's still going to send it, and the second timing recovers that very well. This is Nico on 20 health after the HE in middle, and he's forced a 5v4. Tessez goes patrolling too, but pushing up here. Will he just leave with the AK? It's a perfect chance to. Once more, he'll get it. 5v3, what could go wrong?
والله حرام 2 round هيك. يلا.
In both of these last 2 rounds, Falcons have held the advantage. NAVI have been the guys to snatch it back. This is the tail end of your money, and so if you let this one get away from you, NAVI are tying this game up at an alarming rate. Tess has made a great play pushing forward to grab this rifle, but his job in this round is far from over. Ema and Alexi waiting around this corner. Got Nico here alongside him, low on HP. That swing, Tess has had to hit this.
Oh, that pressure for Carrigan draws him back, but Nico still gets caught. Idea was there. 4v2. And 30 seconds to decide if you really want to risk your AWP and your AK on this round. A lost round would put NAVI back on pistols.
Yeah, both teams running the risk of getting broken at the end of this one. That molly is big. Tessez has to swing ahead of it. Fight forced. Tessez gets one. Hands off to Ema in this clutch. 1v2. Bomb plant will be found here. He's got that to play with. Fast flank heard main. He goes looking for the m0NESY. Oh, but already on the angle. m0NESY waits for that kill to come to him. It's another round you expected Falcons to pick up. That's a light buy, but they pull through.
I can't believe Nico gets away with this backstab, right? The fact that no one is there to help out Bit. He gets full blinded. NAVI just sell him down the river. And Tessez goes on with an incredible multi-kill in A main. Falcons have been extremely aggressive in this CT side on second timings, catching NAVI off guard while they set up, dropping the bomb, throwing some very chaotic rounds NAVI's way. And they know it's coming. They still have been yet to stop it.
And honestly, you know, it felt like a big risk sending Nico through that mid window without extinguishing the molly, without considering the timing of the nade. But I almost wonder if that's why they're just overlooking it entirely. So often you drop that smoke, right, and run through. Otherwise, you're taking 80 damage, and that's exactly what happened to Nico on that push.
It's so crazy, it might just work.
All right, now a test at this B bomb site, but 3 players here for the Falcons. They've got numbers in the right place. Mid again left open, being a bit of a fixture in some of these rounds. Instant kill onto the 2 defenders. It's Nico playing Joker, the 3rd man that they weren't expecting. Mow down for Nico. Eventually overwhelmed. And in spite of it being a multi-kill, you almost wish he got even more. Because this is not an easy round now for Tessez and m0NESY coming into a lost B bomb site. Smoke's in their way. And as they fade, you are desperate for someone to provide an opening. Alexi swings out ahead of this retake. Knocks m0NESY off his perch, and now with info on Tessez, no way back into this for the Falcons. That's a low econ round right back out of NAVI.
And every time Falcons get NAVI in a breakable position, they somehow persevere and break back. That was a force in for NAVI. That was quite a risky investment, and an explosive B hit gets them back on the board. Look at what it's done to Falcons. We have 1 M4 and 4 pistols in this next round. NAVI put everything on the line. And it works out just perfectly. Bit of a pace change here for NAVI. It's what got them over the line of Mirage come the end. Just flat out rushes. Karrigan in trouble, alone on this B-bomb site.
Oh, he heard those B players starting to pull back. And the mid defense, the mid stack isn't budging. Falcons don't fall for the NAVI trick here. They've got very fast rotations available. Might even be able to help Tesses before NAVI get into A. NAVI still feel like they're making up their mind in this one.
Falcons are flying blind. They really don't know where to hedge their bets. That pick comes out in middle. To an aggressing Nico as Falcons try to find that flank timing. Now it's NAVI surrounding this B-bomb site. Still Karrigan sits alone, but not for long. This is NAVI rolling out the red carpet. They were regrouping to go back for that A hit, so calling it off. Perfect remedy here in this round. Falcons saving what little they have. And NAVI eyeing up a very nice T-side after all. A slow start to this third map. But now recovered.
Seeing how much harder it is as well to go for this mid-round aggression now that the wonderful AWP has made an appearance. Next up is just these saved guns for the Falcons, eco around it, and so maybe a gamble needed in this upcoming round. This is the lead about to get away from them, pending a big moment from the hero weapon. It will be in the hands of Keisuke. Falcons still all smiles, not feeling like they've lost control over this game yet. And if last time it was a gamble in the wrong place, this time Keisuke might try and force fights out of this rifle.
A main aggression has just been so profitable for Falcons, but look at how NAVI know that. Look at how they're set up. They've got 3 players, eyes on this position. Nade ready for the AWP contact. Wonderful on the line. It couldn't be a better setup from NAVI to stop this aggression. So Falcons wait patiently. 3 players. But so much doubt, so much uncertainty, and so much utility flooded in for NAVI in middle is going to draw Falcons back out of position. The give and take of Anubis, leaving Falcons constantly uncertain.
I mean, their stack's in the right place. Sure, they're clearing out mid right now, but they'll uncover it's clear. How mobile do they get with the pistols? Because Keisuke ain't moving. He's got m0NESY here alongside him, and an A play looming for NAVI. Wonderful. Hoping to lead the way on this AWP. Looking for that opener. He will strike. Presence of 2 up close, but they only get out with the 1, and there's the shutdown. Full collapse of the Falcons. NAVI tying up this game.
Oh, what a game out of Wonderful at this point. He has showed up every single time NAVI have needed him since getting this AWP.
ماشي جايب معك ابن عباس شعوذة.
NAVI need him. Performing now, but this round might come at the cost of 2 if you lose it, Falcons. Wonderful again, and risky fight for Kyosuke through the smoke, but no punish. Wonderful's getting whittled down. Shot by shot through these smokes. NAVI have been extremely quiet on these T sides, and they'll do it again. Just one flash to middle.
Oh, Nico burning, they'll hear that. They close in on him quickly. Gonna be hard pressed to get out with anything. It's m0NESY's help, hoping to bail him out in middle. Kept it even. Kyosuke getting curious, might just walk right in a bit. This is the fight he's hoping for, ready for that. There's the punish. Double pushing through dark, and that's given open runway into the B site. Nico gonna try and plug this hole. Moves over. First man on the scene, only man on the scene. TeSeS out of this round, out of the picture. It's Nico or it's nothing, and that nade gets rid of him. TeSeS really down to give this one a go. Plays it through that smoke, and Mikaze looking on, waiting for that exact move.
Yeah, you can see the desperation now showing for Falcons. They can't save forever. They've eventually got to compete for some of these rounds, and NAVI just do not let them in. Lock and key, perfect position from Bit to punish the re-aggro. It's the first time Falcons have tried that kind of push out through water this early in the round, and Bit is so ready for it. Even had Ema there to trade out if things went bad, and they didn't.
Been a long time since we last saw any type of B aggression. I know they walk desperately through the connector there, but they start with triple B this time, leaving that option open. NAVI may be feeling the same, send Ema to harass this side of the map.
And I love this harass because you know how bad the money is for Falcons. It's not going to be an AWP on this B side. There's likely no M4s either, so you can just take straight up gunfights. Falcons smoke it off, but Ema's just really looking for an engagement against an overconfident MP9. No one from Falcons is willing to make that mistake. And so NAVI, opening move, nothing from it, but they've got plenty of time and plenty of resources. TeSeS now with no support on this A site, leaning very far back, ready to drop this Molotov, but on that jiggle, it's got to go out. Smoke first. Gets a second chance. Alexi knows it's not a fight worth taking, just his presence in mid is enough to put fear in Falcons, and they just feel like they have to go into the water. It's a crazy kill for Karrigan to trade out.
NAVI are very split up right now.
It could come back con. I think it might be their best move right now. It feels like Bit's just faking. B is very weak. Bit can't die for nothing.
Knows it's SMGs around the corner, just trying to waste as much time as he can. Now you're left looking at m0NESY, who's called for a rotation. Karrigan moves back in to join him. Needs something here from the hold. One and done for m0NESY. Another one of these even odds retakes. Falcons have struggled with them. It's Nico, it's TeSeS. Fast push out towards the connector.
Great post-plant position, and Alexi has a nade. TeSeS smoke on bomb, no kit either. Falcons need to get a move on, and they need to force these fights out of NAVI. They can't wait forever. Ema is so far away. He cannot really play this bomb from this position. But that's why it might work. TeSeS discounting or no? Ema just gets the shot off, and Nico trying to chase him down. Cannot find a thing to work with. Alexi over peak. Ema on the wrong side of the site, but it doesn't matter if he hits the shot. NAVI recover that post spot and recover the half. 5 rounds straight at the end of their T side. Is it just Mirage all over again?
Ya Allah. يا الله. كانت 4-0 صارت 7-5. طلع هاي.
Bit of a paradox almost, because T-sided map, but T-side problems for the Falcons. Suke, big damage, can't convert, but gets out, and the advantage rests with NAVI. Wonderful, waiting for a reaction on his end of the map, and Tesses might be about to give it to him. Gonna go searching out towards B, right into these dual Berettas. Hear them fire off. Tesses knows he's lucky to still be alive. Not backing away from the challenge though, not shying away from searching for an opener here, and now Tesses gonna get it.
That has literally kept the round alive. All the nades on Karrigan and m0NESY. Are they gonna throw a fake exec first? We have 2 decoys. Something that we have seen before, but it looks like they just want to walk in and make this happen. Oh, that hurts.
That's both your A players softened up. Both your guys in this bomb site low. Bit hits a blinder on that Tesses flank.
Oh.
Planted, m0NESY can't cover, and as they jump in, it gets denied. NAVI swarm as soon as that bomb goes down. And out of all the times for this pistol track record to turn sour for the Falcons, this is maybe the worst. Losing out on that one there, going to give NAVI a hot start to this second half.
Yeah, no bomb plant to even force a buy, to even justify in the second round. It'd be crazy to see Tech9 Armors when you're this down in the hole. NAVI just throw themselves at Falcons and find that pistol. The missed smoke doesn't even matter. Just more shakiness on display. Falcons T-side's really struggling. And let's look to history, right? Even though it's the first time with Karrigan in this lineup, we've seen good T-sides from Falcons on Anubis, where you're meant to get them. Against Spirit, where they won back in Rio, it was an 8-round half for Falcons. They got 7 against Furia. This is a game where they're going to have to rely upon them. And will that difficulty rear its head here in this all-important matchup for the major playoffs? Next round will set the tone. Simply done here by NAVI. Wonderful, keeping cool. As they put on 9 rounds on this CT side.
Dude, I mean, if you're NAVI, you're so happy with what you've got out of Wonderful across this series. You know, he has been in great form at this major, him and Bit, both of them. But a really, really rough start to the entire thing, and then just able to bounce back so concisely. Now sitting up towards top of the board here on Anubis. Absolutely loving this series-wide recovery from Europa. Guns back out for the Falcons and a heavy lean out towards that B site. Nico left to his own devices here, playing to contain any type of aggression out towards A.
That beats a smoke. Deep molly and
all this push though has left Alexi alone on this side of the map. So sure, they get all the control they wanted, but they lose the B site. Good reaction to pounce upon this for the Falcons. Gonna net them a bomb plant, a post plant too. Reaction is Mikazi giving chase right away. Karrigan had to hit that, was not ready for Wonderful. Nico taps from afar. But if Tesses doesn't buy time, Nico might never get the chance to play. They're so focused on dealing with him. Tesses slips the net, entirely unaccounted for. And so we say Wonderful's been on one hell of a game. But this is a tricky clutch.
Oh no.
Players on either side of him, and Wonderful decides not to play. Backing out of there, conceding in this clutch. Falcons first rifle hits hard.
Yeah, just could not find a kid. That was deathly winnable. Nico locked off by his own molly. Tess's low health nadeable. There were ways for Wonderful to do it, but he just couldn't get on that bomb. He could not win the round. Better to save your gun. That flash for Karrigan is so important. Alexi, as you said, he's close up alone on this B bomb site, but he has an MP9. He can shred them coming out of A main, B main. Karrigan full blinds him. Falcons find that crucial entry on the empty site. First step in the right direction.
there's all this paranoia over the bomb sites. None of these opening moves for NAVI. Falcons showing them they're able to react very, very quickly around this info. It's kind of scared them out of doing it. And so it's a bit more restricted here. 3-man hold on B, 2-man hold in A, and a boost just to try and give you any type of an edge. You always feel desperate to make a play for info here on Anubis, and that's what's happening now. Tess says, lies in wait, will get cleared. Here's one more player. Makazi gives chase, able to hunt that kill down. Now the split comes in, but cut down by the EMA util. Pace taken out of this for the Falcons as they get thwarted on this take of the connector. Carrigan hoping to find an entry out main side. Is he up for the job? Dead straight away, and that's a rough whiff. 20 seconds left now, and anything else just comes from desperation. Gonna need clean entries here to pull this one off. m0NESY leads the charge, can't find a thing, and with rotations on the way over, that's a safe round for NAVI.
A massive step up for Makazi in these last couple, showing up when NAVI need him, and it's those kind of moments where you feel Falcons really rely on just everyone hitting their shots, and Carrigan lets them down in that round. He needed to find that entry in that 3v4 to win this one for Falcons. They were fully blocked off in connector. They had no way in. It had to be the B main player, and Carrigan just can't convert the kill. You are not going to clutch out late round situations whiffing shots like that. And so NAVI holds strong. 10-6. They shrug off that one gun round from Falcons, and we really are feeling those shades of Mirage. Control lost, but Emo and Wonderful both considering this position. Smoke falls very wide, allowing them to cross temple. Emo getting run at here, but it's mostly Glocks. Well contained by Emo. Not letting anything happen here. Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's let him get away.
Look at Wonderful raging on the camera here. Oh my god, guys.
This is real rough, Tess says.
Nice.
No way.
Bomb's loose.
And that's the part that makes you feel safe. Nico dead as soon as he tries to grab it. Ema on for the ace. And Tess says might have offered some Deagle heroics here, but this is the dying lights of his round now. Coming through this smoke into the crossfire. Tess says a dead man.
It's getting stressful for NAVI. I don't feel like it needs to be. A nice 4K round out of the Emo. We've had all the riflers.
Rounds of play.
Same thing happened last map. 10-1 in those last 11 rounds. Strong starts, slow finishes. The Falcons' second half lets them down. NAVI are so close. They can feel it. Falcons running low on utility. This is where you need a legacy player to step up, a m0NESY or a Nico, to deliver you around. Bomb retrieval, 45 seconds. One full kit left of utility on Kyosuke.
And an aggressive stance out here in main. I mean, this round is won or lost based on the success of these main fights. Two guys nearby for NAVI. Bit full blind, big damage done. Ema can't last long, only gets out with one. And NAVI start to move on round. They hear a player out towards middle. They know that Karrigan's taken space away. That Monacy Orb strikes, dealing with Makazi. You'd like to think on numbers alone, this is now a safe round. NAVI not feeling pressure to play for this one, back on out.
Yeah, they've got room to play with here in this game. They don't need to throw away this opportunity and this money. Keep the full buys coming. You lose it to that main fight. A bit of stress here, as it could have all just been avoided with a couple more kills in that A-hold, but good double flash for Falcons. Makes Bit turn right into the second. And with no multi-kills, come no more rounds for NAVI. Falcons find a 7th, breaking that quiet streak.
Oh.
That NAVI have had.
Blade was really laying down the law in that timeout. He really had a point to get across here to NAVI, and not happy with that main hold. One of the coaches with a very high timeout to round win conversion rate.
Maybe also just feeling like they gave up a little too much space in that last round, right? Like mid was free for the Falcons. They had players coming through there. It became a very restricted sight hold for NAVI, one where you kind of just had to be in the right place and you were relying on multi-kills.
This time Wonderful is in the right place. He can assist on mid. He can also set up Bit in A main. Couple more options open. Better to have your AWP on this side of the map. For now, just scoped up on his line. Falcons trying to blow him to bits, but nobody in the camera. Same idea for the Falcons. Get that mid control first. Util's nice, but nobody home. It's still going to give Falcons the room. Tessus and Karrigan getting very close.
It gives you that security to start walking out towards middle. You've really made this look and feel like the A play, but now you get blocked at the 50-second mark, and that's going to make them change their minds. They leave that A side of the map entirely, walking this bomb back towards B. Flash in a lower. It's all decided on this next fight. Tag for Monacy. Someone's going to bail it out, and there's that trade for Kyosuke. Alexi now feeling a lot of pressure as they're homing in on B, and a breakthrough for the Falcons as they now chain together back-to-back rounds.
Yeah, got to give it to Karrigan there. That's a really well-called round. They really make it look like that A play again. The same pressure, flashes on main, the same util in middle, just to force NAVI back, and then boom, 180 back to connector into that B hit. Falcons explosive execute, catches NAVI by surprise. And a perfect time to pull that round out after the one they just won on that A-bomb site. Falcons keep themselves in this game.
Now with an eco to follow, this is starting to tighten up in a big way. Almost hope this is where you let Wonderful off the leash a little bit, right? Try and force some fights on his AWP, because he's held on to it a couple of times now. Just found himself out of the action. So maybe this is where he says, I'm going to stop giving them the chance to avoid me. In rounds like this, you need a hero to emerge, and one of the ways you can do that is just by forcing these opening fights. So what kind of look do we get for NAVI? No aggressive line for Wonderful. A bit just committed to that A-hold. Falcons were nervy about some early aggression. You've got NiKo floating around the rugs, making sure no one can push out A. Two-man hold out towards the B main push. And Wonderful is now going for that peak. Got to flick down on this because Tess's holding for it. Missed shot. He closes in. That's the wrong man. You know that Wonderful's still here, but it's just this one orb. You're surrounding it on all sides. There's nowhere left for Wonderful to hide. So they go right in to that AWP. They give NAVI their wish. Falcons still get through with the round win. I say that. Bomb was out towards the T-stairs. NiKo taking a safe path to rotate, but it's Carrigan who's got to cover, and Bit taps him out. Oh, no. This bomb is now trapped, cut off from the rest of the pack. Is Bit aware of this? NiKo's been sneaking. Will he be able to put 2 and 2 together on that? Wondering why was someone holding. NiKo gets by with a bit of help from the rest of the Falcons. Util comes down. Bomb dodges this threat.
Such integral assistance from Kyosuke has got NiKo in this site and put the bomb down, and now NAVI have a tough decision to make. They know positionally this is not their round. They've got to buy regardless coming up, but odds against them. Either way, NAVI walk out of this one. Falcons will find a third on this T side in a row. We are going the distance. It felt like Falcons were ready to roll over in this series. NAVI showing up on Anubis. But Falcons have dug deep. Love the round opener as well, getting Kyosuke into con very quickly. m0NESY covering him, letting the young rifler trust in his mechanics to fight the window. Strong early map control for.
Come around now, but you're getting worried you're running out of time to stop this. Again, adopting this triple B lean for NAVI. Tess's throws in the lurk smoke to try and keep him there. Suke even scaling up down towards Dark. And I mean, a lot of these rounds have ended out towards the B site for the Falcons, so trying to keep NAVI paranoid. Util comes in, and with a flash, that hands Kyosuke control over Dark. Ema, flash play in middle is a nice way to set a tone. Set up by Alexi, he's dealt with Carrigan. Falcons now a man down. Kyosuke dead and the push out through the connector. Tess's trying to bail them out. Wonderful getting pincered, getting cleaned up.
لا شو صار؟
It's Tess's double openings that flip the script on this round. Bomb rotating in late, so you got to save a smoke for the cross. Luckily enough, m0NESY's bringing his own. NiKo and Tess's, they just can't relinquish even a meter of ground here. Smoke goes down. Bit thought about playing through it, but no util for that, so you just got to group and hit, go together. First man spotted, it's Ema. Little labored for NiKo, but boy does he make up for it, and Tess's just continues this tear. That's a 3-on-5 out of the Falcons, swept back the other way so quickly. And that's a nice Rene at the end of this one. 3 massive kills from him on the entry.
I just can't believe he walks the smoke. He does it alone. His teammate's coming out connector. He just charges through that B main smoke. Absolutely fearless play from Tesses with all the pressure on. Gets himself a double entry. Finds a 3K in the round. Nico hunts down Alexi B. Falcons playing like they have nothing to lose with everything on the line. And Tesses, big game, big play. Across Dust 2 and Anubis, he has just been a rock for the Falcons.
I absolutely love that. You know, one of the conversations earlier from the desk was how, you know, when he made that smoke push play back on Dust 2, that's the comfortability of a massive lead. But there's no lead here for the Falcons. That was a round that was getting away from them, a round that could have decided whether they lock in playoffs today. And Tesses makes the baller move. Money broken. NAVI might just have to stomach the fact that Falcons are about to tie this up.
This was 11-6. Now looking to relinquish the lead. NAVI playing with just a Hero M4 and an SMG. Resilience that we rarely saw from this Falcons roster pre-Carrigan. Showcased it in Astana. In that insane overtime game against Furia, time after time, bringing it back from the brink of defeat. And here it just felt like a foregone conclusion come the end of Anubis. But more twists, more turns in this tale. Falcons are catching up.
يلا نيكو فوت حبيبي.
Got to be careful, man. This 5-7 is lethal.
We've had some straight up ridiculous multi-kills from this pocket rocket. The bit currently rocks out towards this A bomb site. He's entirely alone as again Falcons hit the right bomb site. He's done big damage. Much needed trade for Carrigan there to stop that from getting too weird.
This round
with
is
only
on.
pistols, NAVI, they know they've got a buy coming up in the next. They just might give this one a look in. Smoke in the way. Gonna slow the roll of this retake, and it looks like they're fanning out to go and save.
Oh man, if that smoke doesn't come down, Falcons, the last bit of util in this round. NAVI are charging through that with a couple of flashes, and Kyosuke already wounded. It's could have gotten very scary. Ima certainly has to save his gun. But NAVI, do they want to go searching for AKs at the end of it all? Looking for anything they can get. Falcons exiting together in CT. Wonderful the chance to make a bit more money for that orb later on, but Kyosuke denies. And that is 11 apiece. Falcons still here, whether you want it or not. 5 rounds in a row on this T side.
And in this whole streak, you know, they've walked into the stack, I want to say once. Other than that, they've been dodging these NAVI stacks. They condition them to worry about that B bomb site a hell of a lot, with just a relentless slog of B hits. Now breaking away into A plays. At this point, NAVI, they've fully kind of lost the read. They've lost the initiative on this game. Falcons in the driver's seat. They've got momentum behind them, a 5-round streak on this comeback. After all this paranoia at B, finally the A play into a solo hold. Look where Falcons set up again. It's going back to basics, back to what was working, back to these B entries, out of Tesses.
Brutal. Just banged out. Falcons keep it simple in 23, and they just smash this B bomb site. NAVI forced to save. Emo just lost out of position in this CT side, has not been able to bring great form into these last few rounds. Wonderful avoided. NAVI nowhere to be seen.
You just want to sink into your chair right now. You don't want to be here. You can't believe you've given this up. This was your chance to lock in the playoffs tonight, and you had everything to play with, everything to play for. Massive lead, turn to ash. And now you've got to get out with these saves. If you fall, you've got nothing going forward. Wonderful. They're closing in from all sides. Refuses to give it up. And finally, Nico pries it from his cold, dead hands. Falcons on to match and series point.
This is a disaster for Navi, and Blade cannot call them off. He cannot calm down. There are no timeouts left. This is Falcons on a heater. 6 rounds in this T-side in a row. A team that has struggled massively with the offensive half. Felt like they were disappearing come the end of this series. Digging deep yet again. Against a legendary organization with 2 Cologne trophies in their cabinet. But Navi might have to fight on the final day. Is it ever as easy as this? 6 rounds in a row. Can Falcons finish what they started?
So much has had to go right for the Falcons, right? You were getting some weak performances here, some struggling players looking a little uncomfortable, but they've just come into their own across the board, man. Tessez sitting up top of the charts with some ludicrously impactful rounds at this B-bomb site. Nico coming alive. m0NESY starting to find his form. Kyosuke with his best series yet at the major. And this is all the while Carrigan has kept them at arm's reach, staying away from these stacks every step of the way. Opening for Kyosuke, but this is nothing more than a ruse. This is one man trying to put the squeeze on that B site. Rest of the Falcons ready to split, ready to end this on the A play. Wonderful and Bit. It's Navi's 2 top performers. Brothers in arms on this push. They've got to be the guys to stop this. Wonderful. There's the opening. For the first time in a very long time, Navi have an advantage, a 4v3.
Oh, this feels desperate. They're trying to make a ruckus, so Tessez gets the timing, but he only has 20 seconds to make this move, and it all feels too obvious. Alexi's looking over his shoulder. There are too many angles to consider. Ima is in the right position for once as Tessez comes in on this flank.
Ima gets his. Tessez now knowing about, doesn't have the time to close on this. Navi, they're watching on as Alexi wastes these final few seconds. Overtime secured.
Oh, this is a game that deserves it without a doubt. 2 stumpy maps leads to an overtime on Anubis. A game Navi could and should have closed a long time ago, but they get the chance to now in bonus play. Falcons fall just a little bit short of the golden run. Captain gets them there. Much needed multi-kill in that B site keeps Navi alive. We know what overtime's like, a little bit more aggression, more risks taken. And Makazi goes straight out connector in this first round.
Instant B hit. They try and pick up the pace. This time, bit more of a hold for Ima, and with Makazi close by, he'll help him out.
Same double for Tessez.
Nico, it's m0NESY. The big duo of the Falcons left in this one. So m0NESY going to open. Nades rain in, but they don't finish the job. First, you see the flash. And now you're waiting for that thunder. Nico close by. Wonderful. Doesn't go. Doesn't elect to play. Is he really writing this one off, or is this just a reposition? Surely you're not throwing in the towel. Reroute all the way around spawn side. And a tricky 1v2 laid out in front of Navi's top performer. Want to see his eyes on this CT. Walk up, and he doesn't miss. Nico not even required. m0NESY gets it done on his own.
5 rounds without a kill for m0NESY, but he breaks in this first of overtime. Another disadvantage hit out of the Falcons. Finds success. 3 on 5 when the trades come in. Tessez sets him up. m0NESY knocks him down with a strike in this round.
Nice.
Back to the water. m0NESY covering Kyosuke again. This 1-2 punch up connector. Triple B for Navi. It's been abused. Threatening mid-utility. Carrigan gets in the mist. Last time Ema came through this smoke, he cleared it entirely. This time he waits him out. Karrigan's already low. Just a couple of shots in the head for Ema.
ما لمسوش حتى كاريجن.
As NAVI go investigating, they clear mid entirely, putting bodies back on this A site. No better time for it.
They're coming through that. Nico, first man in, first to fall. Trade back for Tesses, who has just been electric. That's going to enable a plant. That's going to put the time pressure back on NAVI, but they're here very, very quickly. And they're chomping at the bit to begin this retake. Quad swing, Tesses, bow down.
مش طبيعي.
What form are we getting out of Tesses? What is this from this guy? Nearly 30 kills deep as overtime rages on.
Unbelievable impact in this game for Tesses, and that is back-to-back double man advantages for NAVI. 5v3s, the Falcons swiftly trade back in their favor, and this post-plant is a thing of beauty. They just line up for Tesses.
Tesses hasn't been shy in talking about the adjustments since Karrigan joined. The kind of weird spot he's in with having to both be the safe pair of hands and a risk taker, but he is nailing that right now. Nico with this trade, the water aggression stemmed by the Falcons. Now it's lost you two big names. Monesi, Kiyosuke sitting out in this final round of the overtime. Tesses just playing his timing, walks right by Bit. Turn around on that 5-7 and Tesses is gone. So he won't be here to bail out the Falcons. It's got to be this long-awaited reunion of Karrigan and Nico. Manny Moon spent wondering what could have happened if this duo elected to stay together all those years ago.
It's time to find out.
Full util here in an empty B bomb site. That is gonna get your mind racing. Where are these B players? Where are NAVI? There's a spot for Bit. That's both kills on a platter. And Nico is the right man to find out of this pair. Karrigan thrust into a 1v3. And an awkward one at that. Bit closing in main side. Rotate out towards CT for Wonderful. Karrigan doesn't have a lot of time to get very comfortable here. First kill secured, but it's Bit's backstab that at least puts something on the board for NAVI.
A confident approach for Bit. He was not shying away from that clutch. Just walks right through that smoke to play off his teammates. NAVI dangle in this game, but they hang on with one round on the CT side. Absolutely enough, given the T-half that NAVI gave us back in regulation a while ago now, but a very successful round when you move past those pistols. Big pickup for NAVI to stay afloat in this all-important series. No one wants to be...
Two round. بالله عليكم انهوها. Technical ball.
And NAVI on the more comfortable half. Will that one round delivered to them by Bits Triple be enough to seal the deal on the series? Gonna see a very different pace of play out of NAVI. Falcons were bombastic and explosive on their T-half. NAVI a lot more considered. It's about the slow grind, wasting the util, misdirecting your opponent. And now with a foothold taken down here towards the connector, eyes set on a potential B split.
Yeah, no ifs, ands or buts. This one's happening here for NAVI. No matter what gets thrown their way. Bit of a feint towards the middle with that util is going to send NiKo back into Tesses, and so that leaves the other three of Falcons holding on this site. m0NESY moves in, hits his shot with ease. Trying to take a repeat, trying to take another advantage because they've got NAVI blocked off.
You want to leave right now. You've just learned about this m0NESY AWP in the worst way possible. You lose Bit. Your star rifler brushed aside by the AWP.
I don't think you can leave. I think you have to recommit. You've got two players stuck in the mud, committed to this B site. m0NESY's moved away, back of the site. Only two CTs here, make that one. It's only m0NESY or bust.
Second shot lands, now he learns about the wonderful AWP. For the time being, he's so focused on dealing with the connector. Oh, and there's wonderful, owning that angle. m0NESY walks right into it. NiKo and Tesses, do they give this one a look in? Oh. Hop, skip, and a jump for Alexi, keeps him out of harm's way, and that wonderful AWP continues to cover.
All right, we're back to regulation. We're wonderful, feeling like an unstoppable force here for NAVI. Massive shots to defend that site, and again, the pressure felt by Falcons. m0NESY taking that re-peek into the AWP. He slides in. What a dangerous decision. Must be feeling like he's getting scaled on by a rifle. Why else would he do that? Wonderful just holds the line. NAVI trade out, 14-14. Timeout for Falcons.
ارمي سموك على المين، ارمي سموك.
The team into the playoffs.
Allah.
And let's do it. Patience is the name of the game. NAVI walk through the water.
There is this double setup in mid. This is an area that Falcons have largely neglected, so it begs the question, what's the idea with NiKo and m0NESY? Maybe the chance at a fast flank, because they're seeing a lot of util getting lobbed Tesses' way. He gets completely blocked out by this smoke. You're one man inside of the site, can't do a thing to stop this. NAVI moving in. NiKo sees the shadow, knows Alexi's right there and up for the taking.
Arm needs to go down, NAVI put it in.
Tesses can't win his fight. Now you need NiKo to deliver. Okay. Does get past Alexi. That at least offers something for this flank. It's him and m0NESY embarking on it. You'd love Karrigan to just get one here. Makazi low. Ema in position to swing and trade this, so going to be hard-pressed to get out with anything more than just this one. But Karrigan does secure his kill. Ema offers up that trade, and now wonderful strikes on the AWP. There's the reply. Ema's feeling pressure now. Boxed in on both sides, but top of the board. Can't get out of this one. Falcons.
Oh, it's
seconds
close.
On this defense.
It's close.
Real close.
No problem. m0NESY with less than a second to spare. Or despair for the Falcons, as they would have conceded match and playoff point. It is now in their hands. Right there for the taking. A very difficult retake. An integral check for NiKo. Karrigan getting his one. and m0NESY some sharp shots late in this game to put Falcons in advantage again.
This is their second try to close this out. m0NESY knows he has one right here. Only the tag onto Bit, softening him up. And in a way, you feel like Bit's round basically ends on that fight. 2 HP and relegated to the sidelines. He'll swap off, taking the AWP from Wonderful.
Oh, damn, that hurts for Wonderful, man. It makes sense here for NAVI, but Wonderful has just been so reliable on the AWP. He has been going toe-to-toe with m0NESY all map. He's been besting him in head-to-head as well. Now it is Bit on that weapon, but he has had a pretty poor map by his standards with the rifle. NAVI have to shake this whole thing up. They had the lead.
And they've seen two faces from the Falcons. One that play within their bomb sites. The other that play out towards mid. More often, this area has been open. A triple stack here at the best of times. NiKo and Tesses in with openings. m0NESY's AWP hasn't moved a muscle. Hanging around, the flashes are good, but m0NESY still offering up resistance. Left down to this, 2v2, mid open. They hear rotates getting scrambled. karrigan tries to block the A play, but Wonderful doesn't buy it.
Oh, he's got so much faith right now. This guy has not been missing. Wonderful making the move that could take us into another overtime.
Bit goes first. AWP sent in, back turned. Wonderful had to trade that.
Worth it.
So down to this clutch, 1v1 to decide if play continues or if Falcons lock in playoffs right now. It's their freshest face, their rookie player, Kyosuke, faring off against the battle-hardened Wonderful for the clutch, and overtime, run it back again, Wonderful delivers!
Who would have thought handing this guy the AK was a mistake? It's back to a triple kill for Wonderful with the rifle. It does not hold him back. NAVI demand another. They won't let you into the Lanxess that easy, Falcons. Kyosuke had the chance to get his team there, to get himself there for the first time. But legends don't die easy. NAVI keep hustling.
And hard to not feel like NAVI now feel like they have a big degree of freedom. They're on the better half. They've clawed it into another OT. This is your chance to make Falcons feel the pressure. Heavy stack out towards this A bomb site. NAVI very interested in this control. Tesses again left to his own devices here alone. Playing a block, but this can sometimes feel risky. Depends the pace you get out of NAVI as they round this corner. Makazi slowing down, and there's an opener just handed over. A site now ripe for the taking. karrigan and NiKo try to scramble these rotates in. karrigan with one. Spam gets a little bit crazy for karrigan, but he's delivered on some damage. Rotates arrive. Bomb at the back of the pack, and that kill on a bit might give you a second thought here if you're NAVI. You see Kyosuke arrive, and you're getting nervous. Have you missed the timing? You've missed this window. Alexi, does he have a clutch in him? Bomb across to the fountain, so he's got to commit, and crossing into this m0NESY AWP feels like a death sentence. Falcons with the first in this second overtime.
It just feels like whoever gets these opening kills in the round is destined to lose, and both teams have won some massive disadvantage. It was NAVI to win a 3v5 just to get back into this second OT. They get the entry on A, but still, Falcons hold strong. Rifles. Fragging or not, karrigan is the master of the late overtime games. He's been here many times before. We've seen that extend to Falcons. I mentioned that Furia match against Astana. They know how to long out a match.
I mean, that's why, in spite of these 0.7 ratings, this guy has been in the most finals in CS2 at Majors, which does feel crazy to think about. The absolute roller coaster that FaZe Clan was. This is a guy who knows how to cool under pressure. Carrigan with a watchful eye over middle. Doesn't have to commit to a fight here, would just love the early warning. Because his players in A are committed, they are deep. And that smoke cuts off vision. That's a bit of a problem for Carrigan. His whole responsibility here was to tell him if anyone's crossing. And so for now, a gap opens out towards A. Tess's gonna strike through the back line on his aggression. And that gets Blade head in hands. Losing Bit to a backstab like this is a big blow. Now NAVI are stuck in middle with no clear end destination.
Getting a very emotive Blade today. Roller coaster match. Carrigan in an integral position, committed to his death, but he falls off before the fight. NAVI come chasing, 15 seconds, surviving is everything. Can m0NESY hit the one fatal shot? There it is, that might be enough. Repeat denied, Kiyasuke in the sight, a wonderful hit, a banger. How is he still alive?
All right, that's the bomb down, wonderful carved a path. It's him and Ema, the two top performers here for NAVI. They lose Ema right away, wonderful, still going. And one shot left in this AWP, just rattles past.
How does he lose that? The hot hands, iced out by Nico. Call in this clutch and shuts it down for NAVI. Back-to-back rounds for Falcons. Wonderful was doing the impossible. But he got team flashed out by Ema. He still follows up. It is not enough.
لا عليكم والله بس.
And this Falcon is resilient. They gotta keep it up.
Oh, Nico can't stop it. m0NESY now expiring from that flash, still here and still threatening. Finally dealt with, finally cleaned up, but it came at quite the cost. That could have been a clean sheet of entries for NAVI out towards middle. Instead, even odds, 3-on-3, and your T side is split up. But given a bit of room to try and play dead right away. And in a game that is skewed massively towards these T sides, the prospect of a flawless CT half, that is a massive red flag.
Kiyasuke had his chance before in that 1v1 to end this series for once and for all. Now he can give Falcons a flawless round on the harder half. They're both coming his way. Kiyasuke crumbles. Ema half health. Alexi on the line, but that smoke takes him off for a second. That second might let Carrigan back into play. Reroute, regroup. Background spawn for Tess's. Carrigan going to drop mid. Smoke is going to block Tess's. It also lets him get closer. Carrigan is moving in, and NAVI play the time. They play the bomb. They've got a molly for it as well. There is no smoke to put that out.
They were never given the chance to do this in that previous clutch attempt for Wonderful. So this time taking full advantage of the chance to reposition. They don't want to win this with Brawn, they want to win it with smarts. Molly ready to come in and stop that defuse. And now there just simply isn't time for Tess's to win this. Decided by the util. NAVI, 16th round locked in. They get something done on this T side.
Oh, just a feeling of relief again to hang on, but it's on the T side. You get one round, not advantageous for NAVI at all. Very different game in overtime, yes, but still questioning whether Falcons can close. They're the ones who have had the opportunities in this series. They've had the playoff points. Wonderful, up to 30 kills first.
Falcons have done a lot of work in these T-halves to try and get NAVI paranoid about these sudden pops. A string of B-site finishes on their way to the comeback. Only varying that up as this one looked to go into overtime. And so they're going to begin this second OT T-half. Running back a tried and tested classic. 3 players here waiting to receive for NAVI.
Eamon's actually had a great game, 32 frags deep in a prime position. Up close, ready to deal them the killing blow, but blinded by everything. Nico, Flash, and Tess's double entry back on his T sides. He has absolutely saved Falcons time after time in this series, and once again, he delivers them the match point. Double entry, and a round that NAVI cannot consider, not due to money, but due to position. Impossibility here for NAVI. Falcons foaming at the mouth at the prospect of another chance to make it through this game. 11-6 down come this deciding map. And Falcons with a 3rd opportunity.
It's not just 3, is it? They'll have a 4th one after the fact, thanks to those 2 CT rounds. And so sure, NAVI, they've been able to catch up, they've been able to close the distance. Every one of these chances Falcons have had. But this time they've got to do it twice over on the harder half. This is a mammoth task ahead of NAVI. You heard Monacy there. It's do or die for them. He knows the pressure they're under. He knows what they're feeling.
Off this peak from the opposing side, Monacy tries to fight connector, but nobody's here. They flash out A-Main. Monacy's back turned. He's been brutalized. Rushed by Ema in the water. Advantage no longer. Falcons 3 kills away.
Carrigan just pouncing out through mid has just saved them from that push. And what was looking like a home field advantage there for NAVI, not just winning out gunfights, but taking away important parts of the map, gets flipped on its head. And now do they just try rejoin their rock? Tesses has been the guy to beat on these B holds. When you're in the position that he is, you've got to both be the safe pair of hands and the fire starter. That demands perfection, and he has delivered on that in this map. They link up with Tesses for this B hit. NAVI out of position, the wrong read. And that's going to give way to a bomb plant, a 4v3 for the Falcons. This is their time to close.
NAVI here every nade. They know it's here. They know it's coming. 3 players all together in the spawn. Kiyasuke fighting ahead of this smoke. He wants to finish the job. Starts off with the first. Kiyasuke lines them up. And this is him looking for the Lanxus for the first time in his career. Falcons, first time in the Cologne playoffs. And wonderful, what a game he's had. But even he can't stop this. Carrigan waits, wonderful connects, but Falcons go all the way. Carrigan joins this roster, and they go the distance here in Cologne. Major top 8 locked in.
And give Rene his flowers for this one. What a game from Tesses. Not the name you talk about, but here on this 3rd map, man, this guy put in one hell of a shift. You weren't talking about Nico.
والله جيم رائع مرعب.